Breakfast a la carte. You're wondering why I'm in the studio by myself. We are intercity today, so hold your horses. We'll tell you what all that is about. My name is Chukwuemaka. Thank you for waking up to GTV Breakfast. And today we'll start off with a motivational message. But as we go around Accra, we are also going around another major city in Ghana, and we are in the western region. Yes, like we said, we are celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah this month of September, and that is the region of his birth, and we'll be keeping an eye on a few issues in that part of the country. And who else is there to join me live? I'll let CAF do all the talking. Good morning, CAF.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Your neighbors in the western region.
I've learned my first few words in Zuma.
Good on you, CAF. Good on you. How are you doing?
And thank you very much. I'm very well. Greetings from Benin. So Benin is 90 kilometers from Takrady,
okay,
in the western region. And we are just a short canoe ride to Nzulezo, which is the very famous stilt village right here in the western region. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning, the 20th of September. And boy, do we have a show for you.
I envy you, CAF.
We'll be going to Nzulezo and we'll give you the history. We're going to give you a sense of what is happening as far as education is concerned.
Okay.
And then we'll look at tourism potential.
Good on you, CAF. I know you've had an exciting really weekend already.
Yes.
I know you've had an exciting weekend already,
and
yes, we'll look forward to all that you have to say us from that breakfast table, and we will link up with you from time to time. I know that you have something very, very exciting lined up for me and everyone who's watching us this morning. The first intercity breakfast show. Go figure. Hey, big ups to us, big ups to us. So we are looking forward to all that you guys have to offer.
Yep.
And we'll link up with you when the time is due. Thank you, CAF. Thank you, Patrick Anaglate, the entire team in the western region this morning. We are serving you breakfast western style. They'll bring some macheke, you know. Look at that view. Oh, my word.
Yes, we had that yesterday. Indeed.
If you don't bring some to Accra,
I'm dressed like this because I'm about to take a road trip,
ride.
A canal trip down the canal all the way to Nzulezo.
I hope you're wearing your life jacket, CAF.
And then we'll do all the show there. Yes, safety first.
Safety first, always. Safety first, always.
Yes, so we'll give you a sense, a flavor of the whole stilt village, so you stay with us.
I'm excited, and I'm even in Accra, so I can't even begin to imagine how you're feeling over there, CAF, and the entire crew. So intercity today on GTV Breakfast, and we'll serve you breakfast a la carte with a bit of acheke on the side from CAF and the team. And of course, we'll start off with our motivational message. CAF, you know we'll be coming to you to do social media trends in a little while, and we'll start off as we always do with our motivational message. And Dr. Kofi Osei said, you can lead from any position. So let's have that message, and then we'll be back to continue. Intercity today on Breakfast, Accra and Nzulezo. We'll be back.
It's a good morning to you. So exciting and so humbling for me to bring you the wisdom nugget for the day, because a nugget a day keeps the problems away. And today, I'm talking about the fact that you and I can lead from any position. You can lead from any position. You can be effective from any position. It's possible to be influential, effective, and successful even if you're not number one. You know what? All of us cannot be number one at the same time. All of us cannot be the CEO of the organization at the same time. All of us cannot be the head of the family at the same time. All of us cannot be president at the same time. There can be perhaps only one person or just about a few people in a certain position at a time. And so no matter what position you find yourself right now, you're still very important. I'm saying this because a lot of people struggle because you know, they feel they are not number one, and they feel they are second class in a position just because they are not, the figurehead of that institution. And we're talking about the fact that You are important no matter your role and no matter your position. If you don't see yourself that whatever you are doing in that institution, in that organization, in that setup, that you are important, you're going to always feel so low of yourself. You're going to think you are second class because you're not number one over there. But you know what? All fingers are not the same. And no matter the position or the role you are in today, you are equally important. Without you, things cannot work effectively. We all have different talents and we all have different giftings. If we were all the same, everything will be boring and things will practically not work. So whatever you're doing, you're important. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to go to work or wherever you find yourself, realize that your position may not be number one, but you're very important. So go out there and give your best. Here are a few tips to help you to be effective in whatever position you find yourself. Be loyal to the institution and be loyal to the leader as far as they're doing the right thing, but be loyal to the institution. Be honest wherever you find yourself within that institution. Be an honest person, do the right thing, be a principled person. And of course, remember that no matter your role, you're a leader. So do your best and know that people are looking up to you. Let me remind you with an interesting saying by the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said something. He said that if a man is called to sweep the streets, he should sweep the streets so well that even the angels, when they are passing, will stop and say that there lived a street sweeper who did his job well. As you go through the day, remember that no matter your role, even if you were sweeping the streets, you were very important. Do it so well that even angels, when they are flying by, will stop and say, there lived the street sweeper who did his job well. Have a fabulous day as you get through the day thinking about this wisdom nugget. See you again on your wisdom nugget for the day.
Yes, 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 you can lead from any position, and we can't all be the heads and we can't all be the tails. So make the best of any position you find yourself in. Good message there from the good doctor. And we'll have a look at what the weather is looking like across the country, and we'll be back. Stay with us. Yes, that's what to expect by way of weather. It looks like we're in for a treat in Accra, and especially in the western region. And like I said at the start of the show, we are intercity on the breakfast show this morning. We are in Accra and we are in Nzulezo. CAF is standing by with the team in the western region, and we are here in Broadcasting House in Accra. Remember, the show is brought to you in partnership with Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Awake Mineral Water. And thanks to Barbara's Couture for my lovely outfit. Barbara_Couture is her Instagram handle, Barbara_Couture GH on Instagram. So follow her and get some of these lovely outfits from here as well. And let's do social media trends. And I know that yesterday the NDC was dealt a huge blow, and CAF will be joining me to do these trends from the western region. CAF, I know you can hear me, but yesterday we heard news that the former member of parliament for Goma West from 1992 to the year 2004, and also a very strong women's voice in the NDC, Madam Ama Benyuado, passed away yesterday, and we got the news, quite sad news, wouldn't you say, CAF?
Yes, indeed, yes, that was the news that broke yesterday, the passing of former Central Regional Minister Ama Benyuado, who was described by former President John Mahama as a gender activist and somebody who stood for the rights of women. She did a lot. She was in Parliament, as you said, from 1992 to 2004, and was also part of the executive as a minister for the Central Region. And of course, it's not just a loss to the NDC, but it's a loss to Ghana, and especially her family. We send out our messages of condolence to her family, and may she rest in peace.
Yeah, and we've seen quite a number of messages from strong pillars within the NDC on social media offering words of condolences. We've heard former President John Mahama offering his condolences to the family. Joyce Bawa-Muktari also offering condolences. I'm seeing her tweet now. She says, Auntie Ama Chavez, because Kaf, you know she was called Ama Chavez, right?
Indeed, yes, a fighter. And
yes.
Chavez, when you hear Chavez, you're thinking of a fighter.
Yes, you know that Ghana has one great boxer, a female boxer, and she's called Ayoko Chavez. You know, she's a Ghana woman. We Ghans, we know our way around the fist. So Ayoko Chavez,
you
now
we
have.
You don't allow yourself to be cheated.
Yes, so Auntie Ama was you know, a fighter, and like Auntie Joyce is saying on Twitter, Auntie Ama Chavez, thank you for your selfless service to our party and our beloved country. You proved the point and left an indelible mark. Today we mourn the passing of a phenomenal woman, iconic and legendary, Auntie Ama Benyuado. You'll be sorely missed. And people are sharing videos of her doing what she does best. You know, funny woman, so she's very witty, very, you know, funny. She knows how to crack jokes, and at the same time, she knows how to be very stern. I'm talking about her in the press because I still can't come to terms with the fact that she could possibly be gone, but we know that she is. She was all those things. She was affable and she was strong at the same time, and we know that the NDC has lost a great voice in their cause. Professor Mills will be welcoming Auntie Ama hopefully with open arms, wouldn't he?
Indeed, yes. It's not just a loss to the NDC, but also a loss to Ghanaian politics, because you need all these people to make the political system work. And I love the description you had of her personality. You know, so you've got that affable side, and then you've got the stern side, and you need these various facets of your personality to get through as far as a politician is concerned. So she will surely be missed by the generality of the population.
Yeah. Francis Ronnie Aban on Twitter is saying, I remember speaking to her immediately after the passing of the late Vice President, Mr. Arthur. You could feel the pain in her voice. She made a big name in national politics and women participation. Rest in peace, former NDC organizer. A big gap indeed has been created by her passing. And the picture that I saw of her announcing the passing is the one that she's wearing the NDC hat with the umbrella on the side, like quite Auntie Ama in that very photo. So our condolences to the bereaved family of Auntie Ama Benyuado and the NDC, the entire country. Women's activism has lost a strong voice, and we mourn with each other on this loss, but more with the family who has suffered the loss. And whilst others were experiencing losses in this situation of death, others in football were jubilating. Kaf?
Yes, indeed. It was a good afternoon if you were a Manchester United fan. and
I was waiting for this.
And a good evening if you're a PSG fan as well. But a bad evening if you're a Messi man, because Messi got subbed and the sub comes on and does well. You know, so
I was waiting for this. I knew you would say that about it was a trap. You fell into it. But I was talking about Hearts of Oak, you know. Hearts won their first continental match.
No problem.
They have a CAF campaign.
Yes.
They've started it off quite strongly with that win that they registered yesterday, and all the Phobians are up in frenzy, and that's the team. You see them on your screen, and of course everyone is talking about the fabulous performance of the Rainbow Boys and the fact that they've started the CAF Champions League second round quite strongly. Is it with that Athletic Club, WAC? And so Hearts beat them. And we are happy, are we not?
So, no, I mean, it was a one-off, and Hearts had to win the game.
Why is it a one-off?
Progress, and they did a good job. I mean, well, they've won. They've won. They're moving to the next level.
That's
so,
all
hey,
that matters. At the end of the day, Hearts has won. And I know the Hearts fans. Yesterday,
yes, and if you're a Hearts/Man U fan or a Hearts/Chelsea fan, you are happy.
It was a good weekend. If you have that tag team going for you, then it was a good weekend. I don't want to mention the other teams that didn't do so well. The boys are good. So Hearts off to a good start. And of course, anything that brings laurels to the country, anything that brings us a cap, a medal, anything that puts Ghana in a good light, we are here for it, aren't we?
Oh yes, we take it, definitely. Kudos. The coach is doing well. He got married a couple of weeks ago, and this is almost like another wedding gift for him to progress his team to the next round.
Great. Kaf, I'm here for your canoe guy. You know, the way he's all set. If you can just peep behind, you see that he's like ready to go, holding the...
that's Captain Augustine.
Hey, this is a good captain. I want to meet a good
Captain Augustine.
Good morning, Captain Augustine. He's ready, isn't he?
He'll wave you and tell you that, yes, he's ready.
No, he can't let go. There you go. There you go.
I have eyes at the back of my head.
Yeah, I can see the eyes at the back of your head, Captain Augustine. The safest pair of hands for you.
This is our canal. We'll be taking a trip on this canal.
Okay.
And a little bit about the canal. So the canal needs serious desilting.
Okay.
And so the Inzulezo Stilt Village Tourism Project have made a proposal to the government to help them desilt the canal so that it will be free-flowing when we are traveling on the canal to Inzulezo, which is about 20 minutes away behind me. So hopefully those who have the ears to hear will hear this message and expedite that proposal so that the canal can be dredged.
I'm sure they do have the ears.
Because this is how people get from Bain to Insulezo.
Okay. It looks like you have an exciting ride ahead of you, Kaf, and we will be happy to come along that journey with you, and we'll be joining you very, very shortly. Captain, you are safest pair of hands. Do ferry our crew safely, and we will link up with you in a couple of minutes, Kaf, and then you can take us on this exciting journey. I'm excited, and I'm in Accra, so if I was in that boat today, by now... So we'll be joining you.
It's going to be a very, very interesting morning.
Yes, Kaf, because I know that you, apart from talking about the history of the place, you'll also be looking into the conversation of how they access education and what the challenges and opportunities there would be. And you would also look at the tourism potential, and I'm quite excited to see how all those little details come together in this package, and look at that view from atop the canal where CAF and the team are situated. They are in the western region in the area of Inzulezo, and they will be taking that ferry ride to the village on stilts, and we'll be looking at all the issues that are faced by the persons in that community, and we'll speak to some opinion leaders there as well. So it's not an intercity breakfast you want to miss, because, you know, come fio, acheke fio, you know, etil kakra, eyi kakra. Is that boom? No,
we are good to go.
Exactly. Yeah, we are excited, Cap. And so let's take a short break, and then when we return, Cap and his team will take us on that exciting canoe ride across the canal in the western region. Breakfast show is live on Ghana Television. We are partnered by Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Awake Mineral Water. And we are also a lovely outfit presented by Barbara Couture. So Barbara_Couture GH on Instagram. Follow her and get some outfits from there as well. We'll be back after this break, and CAF and the team will take us on that exciting boat ride. Stay with us.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1. This is the Breakfast Show.
With us, and we are live on GTV Breakfast. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. Remember to follow our social media handles. We are streaming live on Facebook. We are live on Twitter, Instagram. We are also on YouTube, and so you can follow our pages, share our content, and invite others to share as well. And as we promised, it's a packed morning. It's a packed breakfast from Accra and the Western region, and we'll get to it pretty shortly. Let me just give you this information. Do you know you can play games and jerk out of boredom? Join mybet.africa now and enter a bonus code GTV for a bonus to play more games. That's virtual soccer, my bet league, spin to win, drops and wins, and other exciting games. You get a 100% money back on the first lost bet placed after making a deposit. Join the truly Ghanaian home of betting now, mybet.africa, home of betting. So you might want to play all those games as well. And we are grateful to our sponsors for this program. Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. You are not bringing the Adonko, but producer is providing Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. And we are also partnered by Awake Mineral Water and also Shield Acrylic Paint. Thanks to Barbara Couture for my lovely outfit. Follow her on Instagram, Barbara_CoutureGH, and buy some outfits from her in appreciation of what you see on air. And we are going to the Western region. And as you know, my colleague, my man, your man, Kafide is standing by with the team to take us on that boat ride across the canal. and we'll be doing that very shortly. And CAF will also be giving us information about the history. So they are at Nzulezu. They'll tell us about the history of the place. They'll be monitoring the education system available in that part of the country, and they will be speaking to some opinion leaders as well. You know, elsewhere in the world, a village on stilts is a huge tourism attraction. The site is a very, very busy site elsewhere in the world. Is that the same case for Nzulezu? We'll be finding out very shortly. Have you visited Nzulezu before? Do you have any experiences to share with us? Share those experiences with us across our social media handles, or you can also send us a message on our WhatsApp line 055 5561034, 055 5561034, and we'll read those experiences out loud. How do you think we can make things better? Have you been there? Have you witnessed anything that you'd like to draw our attention on? The eyes of the officials are on GTV this morning. Are you in the Western region and you'd like to be part of this conversation? Yes, you can, because we are nationwide and we are also streaming across platforms. So if you need to step out for work, you know what you have to do. Just watch the live stream on Facebook and watch the live stream on YouTube as well. So this month of September, as you know, we are celebrating the Osajifo himself, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, and it will be his birthday tomorrow, and we are commemorating this whole month of September in honor of that great man of the land. And in honor of his memory, we have a short story, a special report that we put together on his hometown. People say Nkrofo. Nkrofo is fine, but if you ask the natives, they will say Ngloflo. So we are going to Ngloflo this morning, and here's it.
The first place the team visited was Dr. Nkrumah's paternal home at Halfasini. The building is a two-room apartment. The kitchen is what, according to Nana Ezenu, one of the great-grand nieces of the late Osajifo, was a goldsmith shop for Mr. Kofi Imia, Nkrumah's father, who, contrary to some historical records that he hailed from Halfasini, was actually from Nkrofo, just like Nkrumah's late mother, Madame Elizabeth Nyaniba. Nana Ezenu said his great-grandfather, Nana Kofi Imia, hailed from Nkrofo, but as a result of his trade in goldsmithing, he occasionally traveled to Halfasini, which was a more commercially viable place than the surrounding Nzima towns, to find markets for his wares. With time, he settled permanently at Halfasini. Tearful Nana Ezenu lamented how Nkrumah's heritage has been abandoned and pleaded with government to help the family restore and preserve them. The crew then moved to the coastal part of Halfasini and visited what remains the pathetic state of the facility, referred to by the citizens of Halfasini as Nkrumah's bungalow. It is now abandoned in a forest and is rotting away. Originally painted white, years of neglect and vagaries of the weather have turned the color into something between yellow and brown. This facility is said to be a place where Dr. Nkrumah used to come and relax. A retired district cultural officer at the Jomoro district, Mr. Francis Kwaja, spoke more about the facility.
This is a place where he comes to rest. In fact, I also meditate. Normally when he brings helicopter, we have an airstrip here, just around this place. From there he will walk through this lane. And then normally he doesn't pass here. He passes the other side. And people used to say that Nkrumah has got an underground building. It's not so. There's another outlet behind the building. When he comes, he likes natural things. We bathe the sea. There's another river at just about 5 kilometers at Mitika. You used to go there from walk down early in the morning. You can walk to that side and then back. You sometimes go to bathe the river. And then at times he likes fresh fish. Normally when he comes, we have these elders or these young boys. They used to come and climb the coconut and they'll bring him some. We have a bathroom area here. After bathroom, you see this is where he will shower himself. There's a bathroom there. There's also a balcony there. He will sit there to rest. Every bit thing that was owned by Kwame Nkrumah was stolen. And since then, the building has been left to rot. All that we want to tell the government is that we shouldn't let this building rot. It's an asset. And if we take good care of it, I mean, tourists can come here. Look at how the way it has been got to us. I will rather plead to the government that the whole structure could be, take care of. We can restore everything and then bring it to life. It can be used even as a library or research place for students or for research people, so that anytime they come, anybody come, and he wants anything about Kwame Nkrumah, they can come here and then they will get it.
The news crew, curious to find out why such potential tourist attractions should be abandoned and left to rot, paid a visit to the Jomoro District Assembly and inquired from the Assistant Coordinating Director, Ms. Gifty Nkrumah Arthur, the Assembly's priorities, especially with reference to historical places such as Nkrumah's bungalow.
As much as we want to do these things, we also don't want to stray from the directive so that we will be called to answer and all. So in our own small way, we've been soliciting for individual supports. We've been calling on NGOs. We've been calling on the natives who are well-to-do to come in and help. So I think somewhere 5 years ago, we did some few renovations there at the place where Kwame Nkrumah School. That is, I think, if you can testify, I don't know whether you've been there, you realize the place is quite better than you saw first. I don't know whether you were there before the renovation. But as a rep, like I said, of government, we are being given funds, and then we are being directed as to what to do, and then we have to ensure that we go accordingly.
The team also tried to find out the role the Assembly is playing in the preparations for Ghana's 60th anniversary.
We are trying to invite even the DC of Côte d'Ivoire to be part of the district's celebration. We are also going on air. We've even started that, the various FM stations here, trying to bring out the fever of the independence into the people. So what we do every day is we get people there, they tell the history, then we have a phone-in sections, people call and their concerns or questions are addressed accordingly. So these are some of the things we are doing to, mark the day.
The earlier Dr. Nkrumah's legacies are given a facelift, the better. For it is said that a nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for.
While we gear up to connect to the Western region for happenings there, we'll keep an eye on happenings in Accra, and we are monitoring traffic at this hour. My colleague Jay Gabra is at the Spintex Road, particularly around the Coca-Cola area, and he will tell us happenings there. Jay Gabra, good morning. What's traffic like on the Spintex Road heading to Coca-Cola?
Yeah. Thank you, Thelma. Good morning to you as well, and good morning everyone, and welcome to GTV Breakfast. So this is a special intercity edition, and I just want to say a quick shout out to Kafui and commend him and his team. The last time I was on the canoe, the person supposed to hold the canoe left us, and we were floating on the lake. How we got back to the shore, only God knows. So this morning I'm at the Coca-Cola roundabout here on the Spintex Road, And as you can tell, the traffic is building up behind me for those who are coming from Estate Junction, Texpo, and all those areas, Casaproco, and all those areas heading towards the Coca-Cola roundabout. It's a slow, steady moving traffic for commuters using this side of the road. And if they are using this side heading towards the Accra Mall, for instance, it will take them approximately 40 minutes to get there. Unless, of course, you're in a commercial vehicle that likes to stop at every bus stop. And for that, you may take a little longer than usual. So to my left, you see the cars leading up, going all the way to the whether they are headed to the Manette Junction itself or they are going towards Accra Mall as well. And you can tell to the part where you're seeing right now, that's where the Coca-Cola factory is, and that's why Ghanaians have named this place the Coca-Cola roundabout. So you can see traffic is steadily moving in that direction. There's a little bit of stoppage at the Channel Mall area just ahead of vehicles using this side as well. And then from that side onwards, it's quite smooth for them as well. So for those who are now using the Spintex Road, who are coming from Manette and all those areas, Regimano and those areas, heading towards Nungwa or Estate Junction, you realize for them, their commute is very, very free. They don't face any traffic at all. So for those who want to use that side and you are coming from perhaps Medina and all those areas and you want to come and use this side, your route is free this morning. So this has been the Rush Hour Report from the Coca-Cola roundabout. Back to you, Thelma, in the studios.
Thank you, Jay. And I like those shades. Bright morning sunshine hitting you in the face. Thank you for giving us a situation report at the Coca-Cola side of the Spintex Road, and so a bit of traffic on some portions and free flow for those moving from Medina towards various destinations. Yours should be pretty clear, and that was a report by Jay Gabra on the Spintex Road. We'll be moving very quickly into the Central Business District of Accra. A quick acknowledgement for our sponsors: Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Awake Mineral Water. Also thanks to Barbara Couture for my lovely outfit. Barbara_Couture GH is the handle on Instagram, and we will be monitoring all the messages that you're sending to us on our WhatsApp line. The number is 055-5561-034, 055-5561-034. And so monitor our social media platforms as well. Follow, share, like our content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube, and leave your comments there as well. We'll keep an eye on those. For now, we're doing Rush Hour, and we are in the Central Business District, where Daryl is standing by around the National Theatre. Daryl? Okay, we're trying to monitor traffic situations in the Accra Central Business District, and we are trying to link to our team on the National Theatre side of town. And so that's the approach that goes from the Liberation Roundabout, so from the Ridge Hospital area, heading into the Central Business District, and also towards the Ministries area of Accra. So we'll see whether there's a free, open flow over there or whether there is a gridlock. We know that the Central Business District is usually quite congested during certain times of the day. Is that the situation early this morning? My colleague Alan Darrow will be telling us very shortly what that situation is. Darrow, I think we may have lost him there. Let me quickly acknowledge again our sponsors: Awake Mineral Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. We partnered to bring you this breakfast show every morning, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast a la carte. Today we are intercity. We are in Accra, and we are in Nzulezu, and Kafride and the team are standing by to bring us a different kind of breakfast than we are used to from Accra. And so you do not want to miss anything. Like I've said, if you've experienced Nzulezu in any manner or form, send your impressions, your suggestions, and your comments to our WhatsApp number 055-55-61034, and we'll read them out loud. Also, share it on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also on Twitter, and we'll read them out loud. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll link up with Daryl, who is monitoring traffic situations on the Accra Central Business District side of town, so particularly around the National Theatre area, and we'll tell you whether it's safe for you to commute through that part of town or whether you should look elsewhere for an alternative. We'll be back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
From 1921 to 2021.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Thanks for staying on, and it's the Intercity Breakfast Show live on GTV. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast, and we'll look into some of the stories that made it into the papers this morning, and the Daily Graphic has quite an interesting account on the appointment of the MMDCEs, the nominees for the key appointments, and I've been joined at the table by former chairman of the PNC, Mr. Bernard Mona. Chairman, good morning.
Thelma, good morning.
You sacked Kafuide.
Yeah, it's refreshing to have a lady to host the show. All the time you have three hard bodies here.
Oh, not all the time.
Anytime I came here or I come here, it's
Ah, well. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. So there's a story on the Daily Graphic, the front page of the Daily Graphic, that is talking about key MMDCEs who have been dropped from the list of nominees, and that announcement has led to some disturbances in certain parts of the country, particularly in Treponi and in Kumasi. So we have seen some properties being destroyed. People are burning tires, expressing displeasure with the nominations so far. So on the front page of the Daily Graphic, you can see some of the names that have been put up for appointments and some of the nominees that are on that list. Mrs. Elizabeth Katie Saki for the AMA, and she will be the first woman to occupy the office if she is approved. Mr. Samuel Payne, KMA nominee. Abdul Muminisa, STMA, he has been retained. Mr. Suli Salifu, Tama nominee, and so that is captured on the front page of the Daily Graphic. And as we look into that issue, the security implications are clear, and we want to analyze what that means. I must say that we've been joined at the table by another honorable member, Mr. Titus Nikwate Glover, former Nikwate. Titus Daniel in the Lions.
Titus Glover.
Daniel in the Lions.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you, my dear.
Former Deputy Transport Minister, it's an honor to have you join the table. Because we are talking about this particular list of nominees, let's just look at the security side of it, and we'll speak to Sani Adib, who is a security analyst and who will analyze some of those issues from a security perspective a bit more. Sani, good morning. Thanks for joining us on GTV Breakfast. You have not still sent me the number, so please do it. Good morning, Sani.
Our two honorable men on the table.
Greetings were received, Sani. Now let's talk about the list of nominees.
It's daybreak and you appear to still be on bed.
Hey, are you?
What is Bernard saying? I didn't hear him.
He says you should be on your way to work.
But it appears I'm in bed.
He can get that just by listening to your voice.
Continue.
Sani, so some disturbances in Treponi and Kumasi in particular. Is it any cause for alarm if people are already voicing disapproval of the nominations so far?
Well, obviously so. Just before the announcement of those who have been proposed by the president, I had information from a very reliable source in the national security setup that a nationwide alert has been issued about the possibility of violence, especially at certain areas in the country. But my concern is, does that presuppose that we have, as a people, as a country, come to accept that indeed there will be violence? And I think a great chunk of the blame goes to the politicians who raise the expectations of the people and convince them beyond reasonable doubt that we are going to nominate your person. But in the end, when things don't go that way, and the people are also not able to manage their expectations, there's always a possibility that there would be stiff opposition, with some becoming violent. But there's absolutely no rationalization. There's absolutely no justification for such acts of lawlessness when there are processes and procedures to follow to register your displeasure or over an appointment or anything related to that. But that notwithstanding, we still need to put in place, proper security on the ground to prevent some of these areas from spiraling into violence. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw the video. Is it?
Yes, we have one of the videos now rolling on the screen.
Wonderful. You know, I understand the MP or something. Someone was being beaten. Okay, and the police intervened. Then later, the party office was burned and all that. Then we also heard about even though my brother Mohamed Sowa has come out to condemn in no uncertain terms those actions that were taken on his behalf. You know, I remember some time ago when Honorable Haruna Idrisu was not appointed in time, something like that. We had some party fanatics also taking the laws into their own hands and destroying, you know, party officers. Just recently, Farouk Ali Muhammad also, I think they were expecting a certain appointment, but it didn't go their way, even though they came out to protest. Luckily for us, that there was no widespread violence. So,
Sani, you talk about processes and procedures that people can follow to register their displeasure if they do have it. What would that entail? Which would have been the more appropriate way to handle the matter, rather than obviously the condemnable act of vandalization?
Well, so far as I'm concerned, even though I might not have a full knowledge of the processes involved, the president's nomination is a nomination. I think it's not an appointment. It's not cast in iron. So what in essence it means is, if the nominee is that unpopular, you can quickly, without delay, reject him at the local assembly level. Okay, because I understand some elections, you know, has to happen. They need to approve, so to speak, the candidate, even though there are instances where some, you know, powerful people, as it were, force down the throat of the assembly. Certain persons who appear to be darling boys and girls to them, but there's always a way to, you know, demonstrate the unpopularity of the nominee, you know, by showing it, you know, in the votes that comes up, you know, when it's time to approve the person.
Right.
You know, we have a legal regime in place. You know, sometimes some appointments are made, people, you know, take it to court, interim injunctions is based on it. I think even through the court process, if you have any reason to believe that, hey, this person shouldn't be there, I think there are legal means to follow, rather than,
right,
you know, take the laws into your own hands. Right. There's absolutely no justification.
Well, thank you so much, Sani. I'm sure that in the coming days we'll have the opportunity to talk about what exact security protocols should be put in place, bearing in mind what we've witnessed from the period or the times around the elections when we've had some disturbances in certain quarters, especially Treponi in particular. But we'll leave that conversation for another day. Thank you so much for joining us. Adib Sani is a security analyst, and he's been talking to us about the disturbances in Treponi and Kumasi following the announcement of the nominees for the positions of MMDCEs across the country. And the Daily Graphic is telling us that Ashanti has the highest of 43, Northeast Ahafo 6 each, and some big names have been dropped and others have been retained. What are your thoughts and impressions? Send your impressions to us on our WhatsApp line 05555 with me in the studio, the Honorable Nikwate Titus Glover, Daniel Lions Den, and Chairman Mona of the PNC with us. Your initial impressions about the MMDCs. Let me first alert you though that today we are intercity, so we are in Accra, Greater Accra region. We are also in Western region, so we'll be joining Kafui Day and the team. The team is currently now docking at Nzulezu. So the canoe is making it stop there. Just look at that view from the sky. So that's our camera on wings. That's the team as they were riding into the docking point, and we are going to bring you some live visuals and stories from that part of the western region, and so you don't want to miss that. Just look at that. I understand that Kafui and the team are ready, so let's just quickly see what they've been up to since the last time we spoke to them about half an hour ago. And Kafui, good morning once again.
If it's move, then you move. You will come.
Yes, we want you to come and tell us what's happening at that place in Lezu, and give us a feel of what you're experiencing right now, Kaf.
And so here we are approaching the famous stilt village of Nzulezu in the western region. And this is a community of around about 500 people, and they live entirely on the Amanzule lake, which is the water body that you see around. And this is Nzulezu. And we're going to find out exactly how they live and what they do here, what it's like to live on water your entire life. So welcome to Nzulezu in the western region of Ghana. And you're watching hashtag GTV Breakfast live all around the world on social media, on DSTV and on GoTV. This is Nzulezu, and keep watching. Right.
Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so envious of the team on the ground, but back here in Accra, even my panel is envious because, Titus, you're saying you've been there, haven't you, twice?
Titus Global have been there on 2 occasions. I recall when I was in Parliament, I was then a deputy ranking member for Trade, Industry and Tourism. And we visited the site on 2 different occasions. My first attempt of hearing of Nzulezu is a typical Nzima language. Nzu means water, to live on the water. Nzulezu. It was when our former president, Chairman Rawlings, then in the revolutionary days, when they visited that place, I didn't know there were people who could live on an island like this. So I was fortunate to travel there.
Okay.
Before you get to the Nzulezu itself.
Now you are coming to do Kafui's job.
There's the outside. You have to board the canoe.
And we've just seen them do that. So let's keep people in a bit of a suspense.
Okay.
For people like me who have never been, I mean, now they are thinking of revoking my Ghana citizenship, but you can't. So we will keep you updated on all it's like, what life is like on water, and how the people cope with the challenges or opportunities that they have from that side of town. I wonder if Chairman Mona would have a few words to say about Nzulezu, and then we can get into the conversation on the appointment of the MMDCs, which is our first topic of discussion for today.
I've like my chief, been there twice.
Okay.
And then one
so
of the...
220.
You have to.
Okay, so I'll cede one of my...
Thank you.
Being there to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that would be nice. So in Nzulezu, we all need to visit.
Douglas and others who are the people who take you on a tour. First, you have to get into a community. When the water is not that much, you walk a certain distance before you get to the canoes, and then get taken into the community.
Fascinating.
It's exciting to go and watch.
I know when next I'm going for my
and it's full of nostalgia when you go there, because you are imagining so many things, and you see kids 2 years, 3 years, they can go into the water and
we hear they can swim before they can walk.
Yeah.
Exciting, exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what Kaf and the team will be reporting from Nzulezu. Like we said, we are intercity today on the Breakfast Show, and we're sitting down for the headlines. We're starting off with the daily graphic. We've just spoken to security analyst Adib Sani on the disturbances following the announcement of the MMDCE nominations, and my panel in the studio, Chairman Mona Tatislova, to talk more about it in depth. What's the key loss or appointment for you, Chairman, in this list that we've seen so far?
Permit me to say good morning to Na Siambogona, and then that's Daniel Ni Titus Glover, and to yourself and the crew out of Accra. I'm sure that when we leave here, they will be giving you much more news. Certainly, this has been over-delayed. The appointments or the nominations, let me call it nominations, because the appointment processes will come after the assemblies have confirmed these nominations. And so the nominations have over-delayed. They have, in the course of the delay, many development projects that ought to have been carried out have also been over-delayed. If you listen to the experts, they will tell you that the District Assembly Common Fund has been in arrears since the last quarter of 2020. We are in the third quarter of 2020, inching closely to the fourth quarter. So in effect, 1 year of the District Assembly's Common Fund that ought to have been given to assemblies to be able to operate and operationalize on some of the peculiar needs of the assemblies have not been released. And obviously, this stagnates development in our communities. There is a certain perception with appointment, and I think that it is that perception that has always ignited the kind of violence that we have across the country. Because it is fully believed that when you are appointed,
you definitely get it.
That it means that, no, not you definitely get it. When you are appointed, it means that something to chop has come home.
Okay.
There is opportunity to amass. There is opportunity for your close relatives and friends to be okay, to be well-to-do. And so appointment into political offices are now seen as gold mines. And so everybody is itching to want to be appointed into office so that they too can grab their share of the national spoils. That mentality is the reason for which we have all these violence. It is not the call to serve as it's supposed to be. If it was the call to serve, and if it were in other countries, when somebody is appointed from your family, you begin to feel wheezy, because that appointment comes with responsibility. You understand? It comes with the opportunity to die. Let me call it opportunity to die, because the least mistake you make as a public officer, you are not spared in those countries. If you go to Singapore, as a public officer, you are expected to live above reproach.
Right.
If you go to Korea, if you go to China, in some institutions, you are expected to live above a certain reproach. And in our situation, people that me and you, we are better than, as soon as they get appointed into some of these offices, the next thing you see is that their lifestyles transmogrify in a manner that all of a sudden appointment into these positions have now been seen as oil mines.
Right.
And
Let's explore that thought a bit.
And I think that it is the reason for which you see that everybody, now we have camps. My person must be there so that me too, quote unquote, I can eat some.
You're right. Let's link up with the Dean of Studies at the Institute of Local Government Studies, Mr. Fred Odruosai, to pick his thought on this matter. Mr. Fred, Dr. Ejako. Yes. Hey, Presec people are in my case this morning. Okay.
Notwithstanding, Laura Secondary School.
You to your day. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. Incidentally, I'm not from Presec, so let me stake my claim before Presec.
Okay.
I'm Frederick Ejakun Odru.
Dr. Odru, good morning and welcome to GT Breakfast.
Good morning.
We've seen the nominations as it stands, and does it add to our local governance drive as we seek to bring governance decentralized more to the grassroots, with the president making nominations still?
Well, I think, I believe we need to revisit the issue of election of MMDCs, because we've practiced this system since 1988-89, thereabouts. The system we are operating predates the Constitution. Only that within the Constitution, we decided to go along with what was pertaining. And if we were to do a fair analysis, we will come to the realization it is not working. And then if we were to consider the factors of that, people are not too happy with the mode of appointment, then it tells us that we need to start looking at democratizing the process a lot more than we have done so far. So I think part of the challenge, notwithstanding all the attempts that has been made this year. Previously, the consultation has always gone on. But this year, we saw a more elaborate system, allowing virtually everybody who thought they were fit to occupy the role to put in the application. That was when we also saw some ridiculous applications coming from the same family, mother, father, and son, all applying the same district. But be as it may, I think it is time, as a people, we accept that, yes, we began a process. It is time to move forward, particularly looking to democratize that process of selection of MMDCs. I believe that is a cure to overcoming the problem of long delays. If we were to have followed an election process, the law would have spelled out at the point in time that the election could have taken place. We would have elected our MMDCs long ago. If we had gone through an electoral process, we could have had the chance of selecting who everybody thought were fit for the positions. So that would be my key thoughts considering what has happened.
And in the wake of the disturbances that we've witnessed, am I right to assume that you believe that an election of MMDCEs would have prevented some of the scenes we've seen from Treponi and Kumasi?
It will be overstretched to think that just election. I mean, we've had elections that have also brought about violence. So, I mean, it would be totally wrong to say that going by the election route is a cure to the process. I mean, currently, I think part of the problem is also that people do not understand the concept of rule of law. Let us understand from the beginning that the president has the sole prerogative of appointing who becomes the chief executive. And nobody shares that authority with him. This is a constitutional guarantee. However, I mean, over the years, presidents have done a lot of consultations. This time around, the president went beyond the consultation and allowed everybody to put in an application, and selection processes were put in place at various levels, at the regional level and also at the national level. So if you don't understand the fact that it's the sole prerogative of the president, you think that you have a say in that. Nobody has that say. It is only the president. And if you have watched the minister yesterday, he indicated that he was acting on the instructions of the president. And that is what we must do. We are a country of rule of law. If you are rooting for somebody, if you thought somebody should be in power or should be appointed, and that individual is not appointed, that person does not have any legal right to insist that I should be the one elected. So people must understand the system we are operating and abide by the law. It's the president's power. He's exercised it. Whichever way he chooses to exercise it, unless he acts contrary to law, then we can take him on. But he chose to open the system up. So nobody should think they have a right to decide whoever should be the chief executive in their area.
Right.
And if we can understand these simple rules, it will be good for all of us.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Jackon, and I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to engage on this matter a bit later on in our conversations, and we've been talking to Mr. Fred Ejakodro. He's the Dean of Studies at the Institute of Local Government Studies, and he's sharing his impressions on the key MMDCE's list of nominees that the president has made, and we've seen key names dropped. At the table today, Bernard Mona, former chairman PNC, and the Honorable Nikwate Titus Club, former deputy transport minister. Chairman, Mona has made an initial impression, and I wonder if you would share the thoughts that he raised about appointments becoming avenues for people to live lives that they would otherwise not have been able to afford.
No, thank you so much, and let me say a good morning to your very good self, my brother, my kingmaker, and your cherished viewers out there. Before I respond to the discussion on the Tema motorway, I want to appeal to the chief executive and the engineers of Ghana Highways Authority. They don't need the Minister for Roads and Highways to come and tell them to patch those manholes on the motorway. They are all death traps. When you are coming from Klagon, before you get to the abattoir, there are serious manholes on those motorways. So every driver heading towards Accra is compelled to shift towards the other side. So if there's a vehicle coming behind you, if you're not careful, they can collide. Now, when you move further up towards the Tasako area, you see another big manhole. Are they waiting for accidents to happen? Meanwhile, you drive on this motorway. You don't need the Minister for Roads to come and tell you to go and fix this thing for us. So please, I'm appealing to them. Within this week, we want to see something on that manhole on the motorway, with all the iron rods all showing. I mean, it's not good for us. Right. It's a recipe for accidents and death on our roads. Thank you very much. Right. On the contrary, my kingmaker said that people rushing for appointments in political office are just coming to around their pockets. I totally disagree. It's a competing of ideas that people really want to show off what they also have under their sleeves.
So the financial benefit has nothing to do.
I disagree. I totally disagree with what my kingmaker is talking about, because we have a lot of talents in this country, regardless. Therefore, when people want an opportunity has come, and for them to take advantage and see if they can be selected, I think we should commend those people who boldly show their faces up, both men and women, that they have come up to be part of the selection process. And I agree with the dean that this particular one, a lot of time has gone, just like my kingmaker said, because of the selection process. We are aware. We did regional selections. After the regional selections, the regional vetting, then we did the national vetting, where people from every part of this country, in this district, in those municipalities, and the metros, were all given the opportunities to come and tell us their vision, whatever they can do otherwise. Then to the national level. When the national level is done, the constitutional provisions give His Excellency the President to do further consultations. There are a lot of stakeholders that he needs to consult to make sure that people that he's coming to serve in his capacity as the chief executive in those assemblies are the people that can really deliver. And so for that matter, this seems a bit longer than we expected in the first term of the president.
But almost a year?
I agree. You see, now, there is a saying by our elders that when the old woman keeps long in the bathroom, it means that she's taking her time to prepare herself and come out.
It's possible that she has collapsed.
Bataila, please. Thank you.
I'm just saying that it's possible too that she has collapsed.
Please, she hasn't collapsed.
Okay.
In this case, she hasn't collapsed.
She has not collapsed.
Okay.
So you see that an opportunity was given to everybody to file. Now, after the vetting process of the two have been done, the prerogative is on His Excellency the President to decide, and we cannot take that away from him.
And I wonder, because you are much more, I suspect that you may know a bit more about this. There's, like Chairman Mona said, a huge gap in the release of the Common Fund, and I wonder if that would be released.
You see,
in
at least one quarter has been paid. One quarter has been paid. I agree with him.
Okay.
Throughout my 8 years in Parliament, that has been the norm. There are few quarters that are not paid, but eventually they will be paid. It is the way revenues are collected. The way revenues are collected. When we talk about COVID, the opponents say that we should not link COVID to any of the challenges but that is reality. That is the reality that we are facing. Now, we're here last week when GRA said now they want to move in the night, to collect some, because things are not rosy the way it's supposed to be. So therefore, until government collects a lot of revenue, and government had a lot of responsibilities that he need to deal with. So I would want to make this appeal that yes, the assemblies were not stopped of the development. The IGFs are there. What are they doing? But somebody will say that in other assemblies, their IGFs are not all that strong. And for that matter, their major dependent on the common fund is good. But definitely, their common fund releases will come.
Let's look at the discussion on who bears the responsibility of developing a metropolitan, municipal or district assembly, and the fact that sometimes MPs have, by their own words, placed themselves in places where people expect them to perform. So as a way of education, what's the critical role that MMDCs are expected to play? I'll start with you, Chairman Mona, as against what the MPs are supposed to do, so that we get a fair understanding of the magnitude of the work that's waiting for these nominees.
Permit me to just put a few words in what my chief has said. One, yes, they need to serve. Does not mean that the same house, people should be jostling for the same position. And it's as easy as that. The food in my chief's mouth cannot fill my belly. And so that is the reason for which there is so much gamble within the same political party. People who were or are close to current MMDCs, they were seen as pals. All of a sudden, when opportunity came, they all put in their interest to replace or to substitute them. Why? Because yes, we are close, but as I said, the food in their mouths cannot come and fill the belly of the other friend, and therefore they want to occupy the position. Sometimes we embellish what I call illegitimate processes. The Constitution is clear in its quest that the President nominates the MMDCs. If the President decides to do consultation, it should not be to our knowledge. The President decided to set in some difficult rigidities. You set up committees to bring you names. They finish the names. You said they should go to regions for vetting. They go to the region, they finish the vetting. You say they should go to the national for vetting. They come to the national, they are vetted. Unfortunately, you leak out the report of the persons that you have vetted and the recommendations thereof. After the recommendations and everything, the thing you deliberately leak out. The President goes in most of the cases contrary to what has been recommended by the committees that have done the work. So the President has thrown most of the recommendations away and chosen the people that he wants to put in, because that is his prerogative within the Constitution. Now in the announcement, and I'm sure that you have taken note of this, and I am just very curious. The list that I saw region by region, it is not the President photo that is attached to the releases. It is the Minister for Local Government whose picture is attached to the releases. So this instance, if somebody is from somewhere and sees that, you think that it is the Minister who has authority of appointment. It is President.
So you think there's a conflict there?
There is a conflict, and I'm sure you have seen the releases. Every region and the districts, the names come. Just beneath it is the Minister's picture. Is the Minister the appointing or nominating authority? So there is something there that we have to look at. Because I think that you are acting on behalf or on the authority of the president. Even if your picture must come, it must come alongside with the president, so that we get to know that, no, it is the president that has ceded power and authority to you. It didn't happen. Local government experts are saying what? That we should go and do elections. Who say that elections are always the avenue of bringing up the best? Some of the people that we have elected into some offices, Chai is better than them. And so it is for a reason that we have this complex that, look, let us have election of some officers. Let us also have appointment of some officers, so that where we are unable to balance a certain electoral processes, we can use the appointment to balance.
So
and in the
you're not region, for the
in the Greater Accra region in particular, if you go to some constituencies, you will not find indigenes winning elections, because all of us have come into Greater Accra from various backgrounds, and the reasons for which people who know, who live, who have done everything, because when we come here we go, but they do elections and they lose, because they are virtually becoming the minority. So if you allow some appointive positions, you then use these things to do the correction, so as to ensure that we have ethnic and regional and other balances in the processes. And that is why the processes are not just everything about election. And so when the experts are talking, you think that it is just about, quote, the experts. They think that everything is about, in some areas, we use these things to balance some equations and some difficulties. You go to some communities, and when MP comes from here, you may decide that the DC should come from this area in order to hold a certain balance to ensure that, look, if development are supposed to be given by only the MP, then the assembly will find a way to ensure that, look, we have a balance so that we can have some normalcy existing.
That's a legitimate point. And it puts my substantive question on the roles that MMDCEs should play as against that of...
They become... Every DC is the president, quote, local president. And therefore, the DCE becomes the conduit for development for the area. The MP assists in terms of lobbying and proximity to central government, so that the MP can go around. But mainly, the MP is supposed to come and sit in parliament, draft law, lobby, and do some other things. But unfortunately, in our campaigns, we look at the development gaps in our area, and we say that when we win, we will be able to lobby, we will be able to do this, and so that we will be able to attend to some of the deficits that exist in the communities. And therefore, the MP has now become the development agent, and normally, because the DCE too want to find, particularly in constituencies where the DCs want to contest the MPs, anytime the DC will say, look, I got my appointment from the president, you elected your MP, so go to your MP for development. And then it brings some crisis.
Right. What would you like to add to what Chairman has said? I want us to go to the next topic now.
I can add is that the question you ask is very legit, and we need some education in that area. Because when you go to the constituencies and you go to some districts, people really don't understand the functions between the member of parliament and that of a chief executive. The face of the constituency is the member of parliament, and everybody gets up and they go to the member of parliament in a way of trying to cure these problems. That was why His Excellency the President wanted to move away from this arrangement into an election of MMDCEs. Unfortunately, our colleagues from the other side in the Syrian parliament did not give us that support that we wanted in Bataila. Abba.
There was no referendum. The president
started the process
on his own.
Oh, Minister,
why didn't the president suspend the new voters?
Why?
But he suspended
the
referendum.
Can I address the people?
Nah, address it.
Address your people.
Chief.
So that will have helped us to cure some of these challenges.
But you do appreciate the point Chairman Wana has raised, that sometimes there needs to be a balance, and so because the ballot box does not necessarily offer that opportunity.
I'm coming. So clearly, we need to, this NCCE must come out and make this decision very clear. The chief executives are the development agents under the constitutional architecture. They are supposed to do that. Members of Parliament, we go and lobby to bring this project into our districts, our municipalities, and our metros. And they will execute it on behalf of all of us. So when a member of Parliament is so sure of himself that, look, I'm confident when I come, looking at A, B, C, D problems, I'm confident of doing it. Why not? I am a typical example. I said when I come, I will do A, B, C, D. Because I realize that there's a huge vacuum that has been created, that the predecessors of all these things have left undone. Right. So I've been able to do something before I executed from office. So clearly, we need to make that distinction and that education so clear for people to understand. Now, to say that he is a Dagari, up from Dagaba. Dagaba. Yeah, from my village, or my town in Sankara.
Titles. This one that you are from here, you are from...
I'm from there, I'm a chief there. You understand? So clearly, if there is somebody from there who they believe can deliver, a native who can deliver, I have no problem. If there is a non-Dagaba who can also work and deliver, I have no problem. All we want is the best person who can do the job of His Excellency the President. So this fighting, I want to appeal, because like you discussed, it's becoming a security risk, and the fact that it has become a national security threat proud to the announcement. I want to appeal to all of our people. What unites us as a party is the unity and the cohesion amongst us. Of course, the position is meant for only one person. The fact that you did not get does not mean that we should go to the street and start destroying properties. At the end of the day, it is money that will be used to bring back or to restore these offices. It's unfortunate. Right. I want to appeal to everybody. My own backyard in Tema Central, I know my colleagues there are a bit livid of what has happened. I want to appeal to them. I'm appealing to them. Chiriponing, and when I was coming ahead of Asokore Mampong, my own colleague in Kankam is also going through, they said they are not happy about him. I want to appeal. What unites us as a party? We have a task ahead of us. Right. So let us be calm. If you have any grievance, let's see what we can all do together to bring this unfortunate situations to
a few of your comments coming in on our Facebook stream. Yawuze Swame is saying, finally the much anticipated MMDCEs has been released, and I congratulate all those who made it to the list, and to those who couldn't make it, better luck next time. I pray the various nominees will work hard towards President Akufo-Addo's ambition to make Ghana a better place to live. Greetings to Michael Sebuatin Pope and Ahafubawa. Felix Minta says, Okanko South constituency. Good morning, Madam Host. Good morning, Felix. I want to seize this opportunity to congratulate all the newly appointed MMDCEs. They haven't been appointed, it's a nomination, so an appointment is yet to be made official. So he said, best of luck to His Excellency the President. I hope your new role assigned will transform the lives of your people to enable us break the 8. Special greetings to the best Agric Minister ever, Dr. Uchefi. That's from you, Felix Minta, on our Facebook. Kojo Asempa Furniture Works. Good morning, Kojo. We know that you messaged us. God, we need your presence for this morning from Kojo Asempa Furniture Works, Edum Kumasi. Thank you, Kojo. You are always with us. Parmed Foods. I'm watching you live from Spintex, Thelma. Thank you for watching. David Enchel says, nice pictures, great concept. So that's some of your messages. Abdul Bassett says, Pioneer Kumasi, from Zongo Pioneer Kumasi, congratulations to Honorable Kennedy Kankam, the incoming MCE for Asokore Mampong. Good evening to the best president in Africa. It's morning, by the way, in Accra. Maybe good evening to the president where he is in the US. I don't know the time difference, but 4 or 5 hours ahead. It's still sometime during the day. So that's from you, Abdul Bassett. And so that's been some of your comments on our Facebook stream on the appointment or the release of the list of nominees of MMDCEs. And I'm particularly interested to have a discussion on what a new AMA boss, who is a woman, would bring to the table, but we do not have too much time to look at the gender implications, if any, of that nomination. But the president will be delivering a key address to the UN General Assembly on Wednesday, and the graphic captures that story on page 16. President Akufo-Addo is in the United States of America to attend the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 76. A statement from the presidency last Saturday said President Akufo-Addo would address
the Assembly on Wednesday. The theme for this year's UNGA is Building Resilience Through Hope to Recover from COVID-19, Rebuild Sustainability, Respond to Needs of the Planet, Respect the Rights of the People, and Revitalize the Nation. So quite a tall list of issues to be discussed at the General Assembly, and we are told that the President will also hold bilateral engagements with some colleague heads of state, the NATO Secretary General, top economists, the WTO chief, who is Madame Ngozi Nkonjo-Iweala, and other world figures. The President will also hold engagement with sections of the Ghanaian and the business community while in the U.S. And also key thing, while the President is away, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will act as President until the President return on Monday, September 27. So for the next week, Vice President Bawumia is our acting President. And I want to pick your thoughts, gentlemen, on the theme for the UN General Assembly this year, and whether you think it will help the world leaders to sort of get on the same page when it comes to addressing the issues of COVID-19, responding to the needs of the planet, and then revitalizing the UN as a body. I'll start with you, Chairman.
Yes, but let me also congratulate some, not all of them, some of the persons who have been nominated.
Congratulate all of them.
Some of them. Particularly all those nominated in the Upper West region. I think that Upper West region...
This is discriminatory.
Oh, yes. Sometimes positive discrimination.
Positive discrimination?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So a quick one, because we need to...
I think the Upper West region, they have, is it 3 women in the list of nominees, and that is commendable. I think Nadoli Kaliu, Jirapa, and Sesala. I think I come across that. I also want to congratulate Sampine, a notorious Sampine that he will not take his diabolic sim to the KMA. My brother, I wish you very well. I know you'll be approved with high numbers in the Assembly. I know his work for his party has been unquestioned, and therefore I think that the assemblies will do the honorable thing.
Let me quickly add, because you mentioned females, that 38 females have been nominated for the MMDC positions.
And Upper West alone, I think, has 3 or is it 4. That's
women rising. I wish all the women the best, and then we'll be keeping you abreast of what's happening.
But they should not just be women in numbers.
So I just want to do this very quickly so that we can get to the Western region side of the breakfast table and see what the agenda is tasting like. But UN General Assembly...
UN General Assembly has become an annual ritual.
Okay.
That, in my view, has not yielded any solution to the myriad of problems that confront our world. A number of resolutions that have been passed by the UN General Assemblies have remained at the shelf. They have not been actualized. And therefore, it has become a talk shop. All the time we waste resources. I want to condemn the structure and architecture of the UN General Assembly. You continue to hold it in the United States of America. If the UN want to be more democratic, they should have a rotational system where the General Assembly can move from one continent to the other and one region, country to the other. Every year when presidents have to move from wherever they are to the United States of America, they boost the economy of the United States of America and impoverish those of the other countries where our presidents have to move. And so let the UN, the US president, and all the other presidents also troop to Ghana. And you see the kind of economic boost that it will bring, even for the period that they have come to organize the UN.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
Yeah, I understand.
Is it even feasible?
So I think that if we want to ensure parity, that is the way we should look at it. Otherwise, to regularly move everybody to New York to go and do UN General Assembly and come back, and some economy is benefiting, we are not benefiting from it. I think that, look, it doesn't sit anywhere. Okay. As usual, we are going to do another talk shop. Novel speeches will be given. And what?
Titus.
I think the last bit of it, of what Mbatala said, that if we can decentralize the UN General Assembly sections, if we can move it on continent, I think that it is something that we can look at it by the UN itself. After all, you have branches. You go to Switzerland, they have a branch there. The WHO is there. The General Assembly is in the US. We need to have something also in Africa so that we can move these sections around so that people, the continent, can have a feel of what really is going there. Because when the presidents are moving, they don't go alone. They go with their security, they go with their advisors, and sometimes their ministers,
ahead of them
and all that. And these people go and they spend. They live in hotels and all that. So I think that if you are able to decentralize these UN General Assembly sections, it can go a long way to boost some economics across the continent. But fast forward, and COVID, we all know, has ravaged a lot of economies in this country. And I'm enthused about the team that they've given to the General Assembly as to how they will look at
building resilience
to enable us fight COVID. And back home, we are doing the best. And let me commend the president for all that he's doing with his team when it comes to the issue about COVID.
Right.
But the attitude of our Ghanaian people as to the observance of the protocols, the fact that he's also taking the opportunity to meet other people, you know, the World Trade Organization leader, former finance minister of Nigeria. Madam Ngozi, and other people. And I'm sure that this meeting that he's going to have, definitely we're going to get something good out of it that will come back and
gentlemen, with your indulgence, producer, over the weekend we lost a key member of the NDC, a strong member for women's activism, and I just want you to take a few seconds while we wrap, because we have to get to the Western region and see what CAF and the team have been up to and what they are putting on the plate for you this morning from the Western region. But your brief comment on the passing of Madam Ama Benyuado.
My condolence to Honorable Ama Benyuado, and she's more of a big sister to me. I recall those days. She has a very powerful communication skills when she's on airwaves. You know, she's so good, very articulate, and commands a lot of respect, you know, in her political life. It's unfortunate that we've lost such a great asset of this country. And condolence to the immediate family, condolence to the NDC party, and we believe that the good Lord will give her peaceful rest.
Right. Chairman Warner.
She was my CJE mate.
Okay.
We did the committee for joint action together.
Doing demonstrations. Causing trouble.
Her energy levels cannot be described. Her mental alertness was about. Her ability to mingle and to organize was just too much. And it didn't come to me as a surprise when she eventually emerged almost unanimous as the national women's organizer of the National Democratic Congress, and later when President Mills became president, she was made Central Regional Minister. We have lost one of Ghana's foremost women who worked assiduously to ensure that our women were given their place of right and honor in our society.
Right.
To the NDC, to the family, and to all of us as Ghanaians, we need to celebrate her life and to wish her well. Unfortunately, I know that she was down by some stroke. I'm not sure that the majority of us took interest in her health. Now we are here, as usual, shedding crocodiles about her demise.
Well, your impressions, and you're very right to be entitled to those opinions, and I would invite you to remain at the breakfast table while we go to the Western region. Since you've all been there, maybe enjoy this
except
side.
You.
Except me. But Chairman has given me his one, so now it's 2-1-1.
You have to go there.
So you're in a comfortable lead now.
It's possible that there are no development, because the last time
Day and his team will tell us all about that.
At the left side of the so nice.
That's why I'm inviting you to stay so that we all watch. We all watch this new side. We all watch what new things Nzulezo has to present to the two-time traveled, you know, members on the breakfast. My honorary one-time visit And then in effect, two visits from the gentleman at the table. Kafwide and the team are in the Western region, and that's why we said at the beginning of the show that this is multi-city. So we are in Greater Accra and we are in Western region as well. And so CAF and the team, that's why we are there. And Founders Day, we are remembering Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and I know that the PNC is an Nkrumahist party. They believe in some of the ideals of the Osajifo, and so all the, all the ideals of the Osajifo. Kafwide, if you're ready with the team, we know you've been up to a lot, and so we are very eager to find out what you've been able to piece together and what you intend to put on the plate of Ghanaians this morning. You can join the conversation, like we've said from the beginning, by following our social media handles. We're streaming live on Facebook. We are also streaming on YouTube. We're on Twitter and we're on Instagram. So the hashtag to use is GTV Breakfast. Remember, this show is brought to you in partnership with Awake Mineral Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. Thanks to Barbara's Couture for my lovely outfit. She's on Instagram, Barbara_Couture GH. So follow that handle as well and help that business to grow. And we are still waiting for CAF and the team to bring us some more reviews from Nzulezu. And while we do that, here is something for those of you who enjoy sports betting and who enjoy playing games. You know you can play games to check out of boredom, and you can join mybetafrica.africa and enter the bonus code GTV for a bonus to play more games. Virtual soccer, my bet league, spin to win, drops and wins, and other exciting games. You grab a 100% money back on the first lost bet placed after making a deposit. So you join the truly Ghanaian home of betting now, mybet.africa, the home of betting. And you can also join the conversation on our WhatsApp line 055-556134, and we will read those comments out loud and we get interactive with you on the show. Like we said, Kafwide and the team are in the Western region, particularly in Nzulezu. With me in the studio, the Honorable Nikwa Titus Glover, former Deputy Transport Minister and former Chairman of PNC, Bernard Mona, and they visited Nzulezu and they were telling us a bit of the history, and they will share their impressions about that particular town and the residents that live there. We know that Ghanaians are known to be very hospitable people, so even in places where we see marked indications of depravity and sometimes not very affluent, like we may see in other parts of the country, there's still that Ghanaian hospitality that we see in these places, aren't there? And
I think that we are not doing much of our local tourism.
That's why we are in the Western region today to boost
GTV for what you have started.
Yay!
It is a mark that other media houses should project, because
we have established the contact with Kafwide and the team. You know what? I'll come back and allow you to have a bite on this one. But let Kaf and the team tell us, wow, look at that video. So this is, he's wearing a smoke and he's wearing a life jacket over the smoke. Smart man. So Kaf and the team getting ready to tell us what they've been up to since they docked at Nzulezu. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Hi, Thelma, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Kaf.
So I've taken the life jacket off, and you can see my smoke now.
Yep.
And I am here on the landing bay at Nzulezu. And with me is the general manager of the Nzulezu Stilt Village Tourism Project. His name is Frank Ezoble. And Frank, it's good to have you here. You're going to show us exactly what's happening around here. Later on, we'll hear about the educational challenges here, and we'll get a sense of the history as well. But for now, Frank is going to show me the Oxford Street of Nzulezu. Frank, good morning, good to have you here. So,
Mr. Kafwide, you're welcome.
All right, so tell us.
Moving, getting to the Oxford Street. That is the only street that we have.
Wow.
You know, the street that is made of wooden structures to represent ecotourism for sustainability as well. You're going right there.
And so under me right now is water, right?
Exactly. Under you.
Right, you can see it's water. You must relax. Oh, but they are even now using zinc roof. When I got there,
wow. That is beautiful, and I like what he said about ecotourism.
When you visit Nzulezo, at least you need to have.
But we are done.
Do you want a comment?
Okay, is it very different from when you visited? Okay, what's the noticeable,
well,
the most noticeable one?
They have started roofing with zinc. Majority of the still housing were done by touch and then leaves, grass and other things.
Okay.
I can also see that the place is now more kempt than before. The water is looking bluish, meaning that there is a lot of clearance that has been done there. But this is exactly how it is. You see, the kids are running up and down.
Some stuck naked.
No, but
that's why we laugh.
You are in the water, and so
all these kids, their morning baths,
all these people, they can actually jump into the water. All these kids, and it appears that everybody in the community have your own canoe, and so you take it.
It's like your own bicycle or your own car.
You take it when you are going into town. You take it and go and leave it. Some other person is coming and takes that one. And so it's not like when you are going up.
So it's for the community.
It's for the community. So you just have your own. I used to stay at Azim Beach Resort, and then I visited there a couple of times. It was just beautiful, and you were in wonder, because at the time I visited, they told me that they had lived there for almost 500 years. 500. And then I think Jerry Rollins wanted to move them out of the place, and it was, so they declined, because Rollins went and saw their conditions and it was pathetic. So he wanted to put them on land to go and settle them. They declined. And they have a few people who have managed to go through that system, and then they are also in high places in society. Yeah.
Now, initially I was talking about the promotion of local tourism. You see, we have such wonderful sites across this country that when we're able to develop it well, people will rather come from abroad to come and take part in this.
But that's what we usually see. Persons come from other parts of the country to visit the local sites that we may walk past every day.
So my second visit, I went in the company of the Vice President, His Excellency, late Misata, his wife. We were joined with current MP for Techiman, who was the tourism minister, my good friend Elizabeth Jari of Fosu, that we paid the visit to the place. And virtually they live like they live on land. Yeah. Everything is on land. They have a mini sick bay, they have churches, Catholic Church, I think Anglican or Methodist or Presby, and these Pentecost, they are all developing there, but the Catholic Church is very strong in those areas. And you see an old woman with a small canoe. She's going to fetch a firewood on the canoe, and she's gradually riding by herself, you know, into Nzulezo. It's a beautiful thing to watch. When you come to my town in Sankana, the title they gave me, the Sambongna, by my kingmakers, what they told me was that in the old days, when the slaves were warring them at the time, they fight back, they resist them, because that was when they are taking them as slaves down south, then to be transported through the Atlantic to abroad, US and all that. So they have these caves in Sankana where anybody who is injured, because they fight them with guns, with arrows and all that. So when you get injured, they will pick you and put you in the caves. And the caves are still there. And you will be treated both spiritually and physically to get healed. Then you go back and fight to make sure that you don't take your people on slavery and all kinds of things. So we have all these beautiful sites across the country that if we are able to explore and develop it very well, we can generate some good revenue for the local people and our country. So I think that what GTV is doing now in Nzulezo should not be in Nzulezo alone. They should come to Sankana. They should come to Sankana and see.
We will go.
Yes, my kingmaker is here. We'll talk to our chief. You are welcome. We'll send around all these sites. You go to Mampong, Tetekwashi, where I'm also made the Asomkahini, the old Tetekwashi farms is still there. Because Accra soil is not the best, he has to find solace in Maputo. That was where we welcomed him and we gave him that land, you know, and the first cocoa was planted and it started germinating. Now it's spread across the country. The farm is still there. Let's take advantage. When my colleague Abelema Afeku, Honorable Afeku, was the tourism minister, she came there once and they came and discussed with the chiefs and all that. We haven't seen much. So our appeal to my big brother now, the tourism minister, I know he's doing his best. Let us see how we could explore all these beautiful tourism sites across the country. I know they have it. They have it now. So developing road infrastructure into these areas, electricity in these areas, things that we think that will matter to promote tourism is what we should.
That has been one of the key challenges, the access to the various tourism sites, and the fact that even at many locations across the country, the road networks are not the best. They are improving, but they are still not where they should be, especially when you need to go further into the hinterlands to access them. And so road networks are important. I also think that a key part of boosting tourism is that it offers us an opportunity to tell our own stories. And so the international community may see, for example, pictures like we've seen this morning and see like little children running around naked and say, oh, it's a symbol of poverty, but it's just a way. It's that time of the morning, they're probably getting ready to go to school, and so they are living life as they know.
But your camera should have taken that.
Why not? That is the life they live. If you don't take them, but that is the life they live. You see, me this morning, I think that GTV should send an invoice to the Ministry of Tourism for the work that you have done for them. And then maybe, Titus, you then take your commission.
Titus Glover is my name.
Yeah, Chief, sorry. You then take your commission for all the publicity that you've done for them. Because GTV has done a solid job that the ministry itself could not have done. And this morning, look at the pictures, look at the scenery. Okay, so I think that this is what they should do. They should partner with you, the media, in particular GTV. So you are the national state. And
the authentic and trusted voice.
Yeah, so you should be able to do this. And whilst we're talking, I managed to send a message to Chief Sankana that I think that you should write to the history of Sankana.
I was cool, you know.
Because as you were talking, you could see that I was now sitting in Awi, wondering whether it is so you should write the history.
Okay, we'll go back to the Western region. For now, because we are intercity, let's come back to Accra, and then we'll keep an eye on happenings on the Graphic Road. We know that it's a notorious route for traders who invade some of the pavement, and I'm eager to see what Alan Darrow will tell us about what's happening there this morning. Good morning, Alan.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the Graphic Road. We're currently stationed or located behind Beye Mine from cold stores. We're keeping an eye specifically on whether or not Accra is working again. You will recall at the start of this year, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Honorable Henry Quartey, embarked on an agenda to ensure Accra worked again. And as part of what he did was to embark on a clearing. Behind me, as you can see, is a cleared land. This used to be where the e-waste, the scrap boys would burn television sets in order to extract copper wires from them. And you would imagine what the place would look like if it had been the same and they've not been evicted or ejected from this location. This place will be teeming with so thick a smoke. In fact, thanks to nose masks, these days people can breathe easy if they happen to be there anyway. Now, when they move them on, a clearing and a dredging exercise went on concurrently. So what you have is a dredging exercise of that stretch of the Odo River to allow the water free flow into the sea. And then the back of the Yemen coal stores all the way to the adjoining community, which is Agbogboloshi and the then Yamanonion market. This has been cleared so that it had provided a certain release for pedestrians who would otherwise not find it easy crossing from Agbogboloshi through the Graphic Road and parts of Adabraka to the CMB market, who would otherwise be forced to use the arena area in order to connect through the railway station to get to CMB and its environs. Is Accra really working after that? Well, the jury is out on whether or not Accra is working, especially with the amount of filth that is gathered on there. If we home in on the Odo River, even though it has been cleared somehow, you still find a lot of recycled or recyclable material still packed on the side of it. This, many will imagine or ask how it got there. Well, a few put together two and two, and you can easily work out that these were tossed out, or these came with the recent rain that fell or that visited Accra. And this also needs attention, because not only is it a hazard to our health in Accra, it breeds mosquitoes, and that in itself is a big issue with Accra. Let me quickly draw your attention to something. After the eviction of the scrap dealers, in order to stop people from coming back or returning to doing business where they were ejected, they erected a fence and a gate. So now that particular part of the town is gated. You need a certain permission to come through it. And whether or not it is working, well, from where we stand, there is some degree of evidence to suggest that clearing that place has indeed gotten a certain beauty back to that landscape. We only pray that as we go forward, work will continue in order to modify that part of town and make it into a certain visitable, relaxing area in the Greater Accra region. This, I must say, is in the Ablekuma Central Municipal Assembly. And kudos to all stakeholders who are collaborating to make Accra work again. Indeed, as I mentioned earlier, the jury is still out there whether or not Accra is back to work or Accra is working. But from what we can see here, there is at least the journey of 1,000 miles, beginning with a step, currently taking place in this part of Accra. This has been keep an eye on the graphic road, especially focusing on the scrap metal area or the Bayer Mine Coal Store's backyard. Back to you in the studio, Thelma. Thank you very much, and good morning to the two honorable members in the studio, Honorable Titus Nikwate Glover and my very own man, Honorable Mona Bernard.
Thank you, Darrell, for that report. We're keeping an eye on what's happening. That was from the Ablekuma Central constituency or the municipal area. And Darrell has been reporting to us from the Bayer Man Cold Stores area, and he's saying that some dredging works are ongoing. So efforts to ensure that the Making Accra Work campaign continues are still underway. Thank you, Alan, for that report. I was in the here earlier with the Honorable former Deputy Transport Minister Nikwate Titus Glover and former Chairman of the PNC, Mr. Bernard Mona, and they were here to talk about the top stories in the newspapers with me. They also shared their impressions about Nzulezo, and I told you at the beginning of the program that today we are in two cities. So we are in Accra and we are in the western region, specifically from Nzulezo, where Kafide and his team have been reporting to us, and we'll be back there to do some more insights, and we'll learn some more about the people there and what they go through, what life is like for them back there. Back in Accra, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back to continue this rather delicious breakfast this Monday morning. And stick and stay, you don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Still live on GTV Breakfast at Nzulezo, and I'm having a chat with Frank Ezoble, General Manager of the Nzulezo Stilt Village Tourism Project. Frank, so let's talk a little bit about the health challenges of living in a community like this.
Yes, you know, the health challenges is much aware.
The star of Ghana, Nkrumah, star of Ghana, everybody toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave, which have brought results.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
I'm sorry, yeah, cause I miss him more than just your body. Yeah, be a ghost no alikoto. Now me bubo be tintinto. Some rano de sisi me so. I am a quadonto. Eh, be a ghost no alikoto. Now me bubo be tintinto. Some rano de sisi me so. I am a quadonto. I don't wanna cause you pain, no. Yeah, I just wanna make you happy. But you know how lucky I am, cause all I want is you to be.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
And in honor or in memory of Ghana's first president of Sajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, GBC has dedicated this month of September to everything concerning his life. So we are sharing his quotes and we are visiting some of the places where he may have walked. And today we are in Nzulezu. We're having a few issues with the signal there, but CAF and the team are still on the ground and they'll bring us all the details, a few of your messages, appreciating that even despite the difficulties with the connection, we are still trying to bring you the live pictures. Here the message is, this the GTV we used to know. I'm loving the Nzulezu vibe. Thank you for sending that message to us. Some of you are also sending message on other topics, and like we're saying, we're trying to re-establish the links with the guys on the ground in the Western region, and we'll bring you the details. CAF?
Are they calling me?
Yes, we are calling you, CAF. Let's pick up from where we left off. Oops, I think there are still some challenges with the connection, but we had a panel and we looked at the headlines and a submission from Honorable Nikwate Titus Glover about GBC visiting some of the tourist sites. So we have been doing a lot of that, and specifically we have been to Tetekwashi's farm. So we'll pick up that story. We'll pull it out from the library again and we'll post it on air. We also did a story on a museum on that farm. So Tetekwashi, the story of his life, how he lived and how he went to Fernando Po, brought the seedlings, and then how they found life on that farm. So we've done that story as well. And we have sent also a letter to the Ministry of Tourism, like Chairman Mona also suggested, to partner them to bring us some of the stories of our local tourism sites across the country. And so for the week of November, we'll start a tourism series on GBC News, and Channel Manager Akushika Akwe and the rest are geared up to bring that to you. So month of November, we are in September now, so there's October and then there's November. So as a build-up to the Christmas festivities, we'll travel across the length and breadth of the country to bring you some exciting tourism sites that you can visit and even factor into your December travel window. So exciting things happening for us at GBC and in our partnerships, especially with the Tourism Ministry. I'm sure Bernard Mona will be excited to hear that particular bit. So yes, we're excited as well, and we look forward to visiting all those places, just like CAF and the team. Not particularly enjoying the signal, I would suspect, but the vibe nonetheless is still exciting, even for us here in Accra. And this morning on the show, as we've done every morning, we've started off your day with a motivational word. We've sat down to look at social media trends from here and with Kafue in the Western region. We've looked at the papers and we've seen some of the stories that are trending. We've sympathized or empathized with the family of Madame Ama Benyuado, who passed away over the weekend. And we are in Nzulezu, where the team is ready and we've established contact once again. CAF, what more do you have for us?
Thank you very much, Thelma. So I'm still here with Mr. Evans Kujo, who is the headmaster of Nzulezu MA Primary. What are the big challenges that you want to be solved here so that things will be good for you and your teachers and your parents and your pupils?
Okay, our first challenge is about teachers. We don't have enough teachers, so we need more teachers to help our school. Then secondly, we also don't have textbooks to teach their kids. Then thirdly, we also need school feeding program to help their children. Then transportation, canoes. We also need canoe. We also need ICT tools. We also need a school library. Then we also need recreational facilities like merry-go-round and other stuff. So these are the best challenges that the school is having.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I would like to say a few words to some of your pupils. So I'd like you to just go bring some of the pupils here for me, and I'll speak to a female teacher. So while Mr. Evans Kujo is going, I now have the only female teacher in the school. And please introduce yourself.
My name is Mavis Weja Akins.
And how long have you been teaching here at Nzulezo?
1 week.
Oh, you are fresh.
Yes.
What level of at the school are you teaching? What level?
Nursery.
Why did you accept to come here?
I want to help the children because they don't have teachers. So I want to help the children.
Are you afraid of the water?
I'm not afraid.
You're not afraid?
Okay. Yes.
How many students do you have in your class, and how are things going so far?
Okay, about 30, and everything is going well. Yes, I love the children very much, and they know everything.
Okay. Yeah. So today, what are you going to teach them? I want to know what your lesson plan is for today for the nursery people.
Okay. As for the children, the nurseries, I teach them some song. They are happy. Okay. So.
Imagine I'm a nursery pupil. I want you to teach me the song that you'll be teaching them today. Sing the song for me. I'll learn it.
A lion as it say, he has a big head and a very small wrist,
I think I know that song. I know that song. So, are you happy here?
Yes, I'm happy.
Do you live here as well?
Yes, I live here.
Okay. So in the evenings when you finish school, how do you entertain yourself as a teacher here? What do you do?
Okay, sometimes I gather some of the children so that I teach them something small in my house.
Okay. After school? Yeah. Full-time teacher? All right. Well, I want to say thank you very much. What message do you have for other teachers who are afraid of coming here, especially the women? Give them some advice from me.
Oh, maybe it's because of the water. They should not be afraid. Yes, so they can come.
Maybe says you can come. Don't be afraid, okay? It's just water. You wear your life jacket and then you come. Thank you so much, Mavis. I'll release you now to go back to your class. Thank you very much. All right. I'll be speaking to a couple of students pretty soon. But I still remember that song. A lion has a tail. It has a big head in a very small waist. This is in Nzulezo, and it's a beautiful Monday morning with a great atmosphere here. Oh, I have my children here. Okay, so please come on. Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am fine.
What is your name?
Bismarck Asian.
Bismarck Asian. And how old are you?
12 years old.
Okay. And what class are you in?
Class 6.
So Bismarck is 12 years old. He's in class 6 at the Nzulezo Basic School. Hello, how are you?
I am fine.
I like your voice. What is your name?
My name is Doris Eba.
Joyce Eba. How old are you?
I am 10 years old.
And what class are you in?
I am in class 4.
So class 4 and class
6.
Class 6. Can you swim very well?
Yes.
Can you swim?
Yes.
Can you teach me?
Yes.
All right. We'll see whether after school will be here and they'll teach us. But thank you very much. Learn hard. Okay. When you finish school, what do you want to do?
I want to be a soldier.
He wants to be a soldier. Okay. He wants to be a soldier. And you, when you finish, what do you want to do?
I want to be a nurse.
Beautiful. So she'll take care of us. And he wants to be a soldier. Learn hard. Okay. Very, very hard. I want to say thank you in Nzema. How do I say thank you? Medawase Bismarck. And I want to say God bless you. How do I say God bless you in Nzema?
Thank you.
Thank you. How do you say thank you? Medawase. Thank you very much. Bismarck and Doris. Thank you so much, okay? Have a nice day. Go back to class, all right? Okay. Bye-bye. You can go. Bye-bye. Bye. And I'm going to end this conversation with Frank, who is the general manager of the Nzulezo Village, Stilts Village Tourism Project. So we came here from being on a canal, and the canal opened out onto the Amanzule River. I understand that there's a problem with the canal that you want fixed. What is the problem?
Yes, the canal has outlived its usefulness. So it has become silted now, and through the tourism ministry that a program was launched. That is the site upgrade program for tourist sites, and we applied to dredge the canal. We hope and pray that our grant request will be accepted, and in no time the canal will be dredged for easy and convenient accessibility to the Stilt village, because it is an iconic site, of course. That is the Ghana's Venice. So we also need private investors to also come and have a look at the opportunities so you all grow together.
I like the description, Ghana's Venice. And you see a lot of tourism potential here, don't you?
Yes, of course.
What can people do on this lake if it's developed and everything your canal is dredged? What do you expect to see?
Yes. We want to have an AstroTurf floating park right here in Nzulazo, and it will be one of its kind, where footballers and even tourists, when they come, you can organize gala for them. And you also have a crocodile pond right here that you want to develop it. You want to link the Stilt village to the sacred lake Meander crocodile pond, where there will be other services to our tourists.
I think I love that idea, man. The floating AstroTurf. That's a great idea, and I hope it comes to pass, and then your canal can be dredged nicely. All right. Any last thoughts before we wrap up this conversation?
Yes, I would say we thank Ghanaians because they have sustained the tourism industry during the COVID time. The domestic tourism has really shot up, and Ghanaians are now going in for leisure. I think that is the way to go to sustain the industry. The canal, as I said, is a major problem, and in no time, at least before the year will end, we want to commence dredging it so that the stilting of the canal will not continue to jeopardize the canal for us.
Okay. And I said that was the last question, but I also remember that I was told yesterday in our production that the library needs books for this school. And since I love books, I think I also want to appeal to those who have to bring books here. To bring the books here, the head teacher spoke about it, and I want to reinforce that we need books in the library so that the children can also read those books, yes, and become the soldiers and the nurses and everything that they want to be.
Yes. Books are very important. Knowledge is power, and you cannot teach the children without books. So it's very essential to the growth of their children. Yes.
All right. So that's Frank Ezo Blay, and what you're looking at is the library, which needs serious work on and has to have books put into it. But that's Frank Ezo Blay, General Manager of the Nzulezo Stilt Village Tourism Project, giving us a sense of the health issues here, the issues of the canal. We spoke earlier to Mr. Kujo, the headmaster, and Mavis, who teaches in nursery, and the two children who came and spoke to us live here at Nzulezo. And I'm reading some interesting inscriptions. These, by the way, this is the teachers' quarters. So this is where the teachers live, all right? And I've seen some interesting inscriptions. I want to read the first one here. I never quite understood it, but I want to read it for you. So, the Pandora's fight is set off. Its punches shall suffocate you. This is more than Peter Tosh. And there's another one here that I would like to show you. I am pretty sure that probably the person who wrote this on his way out or her way out. I think it's a man. The presence of a man will never be known until his absence is felt. More philosophy. And I'll end with the last one. My conversation is over here at the school. We'll be talking about the history and tourism potential. But for now, it's my back case.
It's not your back case, we are in this together. It's your case. Thank you to you and the team in Nzulezo, and we've enjoyed the scenes, haven't we? Here's a comment that says, good morning, Nila Telakai. I'm really enjoying the show, but hey, where is Valerie? Please, Valerie is on a short break. She'll be back very shortly. GTV all the way. Now, GTV has been like a goddess for me. I don't want to be distracted when watching the show. Charlie, just bring it with you when you're on the go. Just catch us on the social media streams as well, and then we will get more interactive. Kafui has been looking at Nzulezu, so Nzulezu has been in focus this morning. The school, the basic school there, has made an appeal. I just want to re-emphasize they lack teachers, they lack canoes, they lack ICT tools, they lack books and recreational facilities, and the area that we've heard Frank describe as Ghana's Venice. So if you know Venice in Italy, it's a town on a river, and it draws such huge numbers of people from around the world, and that's what we want to see for Nzulezu. And they are calling for help to have the canal dredged. They want the community to be linked to the crocodile pond a bit further down the road so that it can open it up to a bit more tourists. They've asked for an AstroTurf floating park. That's very, imagine playing football on a park that is floating on water. I don't know exactly how that will work, but I'm fascinated just by the concept. And they are asking for partnerships and sponsorships from government and individuals, organizations and corporate bodies to partner them to make this happen. We've heard from the children and they seem to be doing pretty well. So everything is on stilts in Nzulezu, and their health is of concern, their social life is also of concern. What we haven't talked about is another aspect will be another conversation we'll be having on the show on using electronics to power cars. So we are having a talk on electricity and taxi driving. What's the link, and what does it have in common with women empowerment? And when you hear of vehicles that run on electric power, I'm sure that a lot of thought run through your mind and you don't really know what to think. But I bet that you think it's more of something that happens in the developed world. And I would say that you would be wrong this time around, because this is something that's happening right on our shores. And yes, so there are vehicles that run on electricity. Imagine you buy prepaid, you plug your car, then it's charging. Is that even possible? We'll have that discussion. And there's a company that's doing just that. And the other fascinating aspect is they're employing about 80% of their workforce from which gender? Women. So we are excited. And so there's a little story that we put together, and we'll look at that story now, and then we'll have a build up to that conversation in a few more minutes on the show. Let's have a bit of that story. We'll be back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
run on electricity. And we went to their facility. We saw where they do all the magic, and we caught some bits and pieces and we put it together. Have a look and we'll be back to continue this conversation.
It's hard to be precise about the origins of the electric car. France, the UK, Germany and the US are all credited at some point in history for staying borrowed and trying to develop electric vehicles, even if it was a crude carriage. So it was a series of breakthroughs from the battery to the electric motor in the 1800s that led to the first electric vehicle on the road. Introduced more than 100 years ago, electric cars are seeing a rise in popularity today for many of the same reasons they were first popular. Electric vehicles are not just the wave of the future. They are saving lives today. Here in Ghana, solar taxi is the trailblazer.
What we do here is to assemble electric motorbikes. When the parts arrive, we have 4 sections. We have the chassis section, we have the electrical section, we have the accessory section and the cover installation. So the chassis, that is the skeleton of the bike. We put the skeleton together, made up of the chassis and the sides. After that, we move to the electric system. That's where we put all the electrical systems together to make up a skeletal working bike. From there, we move to the accessories with the lights, the brake lights, the horns, and the trafficators all together. Then moves to the cover installation, where we bring out the beauty of the bike. After the cover installation, it goes through the quality control section, and we check and know that the bike is in good condition, and it's sent out to work.
Our first prototype that we came out with had a solar panel directly on top of it, whereby the solar panel directly charges the battery, and then the car can move. And that was very successful. And based on that, we had we were able to secure our funding from MasterCard Foundation. But aside from that, we also have the purely electric cars. So we have 2 models, the one that has a solar panel directly on top, and then the one that has fully electric. Yeah.
Solar Taxi assembles a variety of vehicle options, including motorcycles, tricycles, sedans, hatchbacks, and SUVs. It also provides charging points and maintenance for electric vehicles. Embracing gender equality and inclusion, its staff comprises 80% women.
I've been working here for the past two years, some few months, and it has been an amazing one because I've realized that working in the engineering field has to do with continuous learning. We are learning every day, and we dealing with electric cars is something that is new in this country, and we can't just sit back and say we are working. So we always do our research.
Solar Taxi actually gave us, we female, opportunity to come to this noble firm to come and learn more about the engineering field as an aspiring engineer. So I'm still learning. 6 months working with Solar Taxi, and it has been interesting.
We have also set up the Female Engineering Academy, which has already trained over 60 female engineers on how to assemble solar-powered vehicles. The best part about the project is that these electric vehicles are not charged by our traditional source of electricity, but rather solar hubs built by the organization to provide the electrical power needed to charge these vehicles.
We've already mapped out places in the country whereby we put charging stations over there. And now this charging station will not only be on we also have solar panels directly on top of them. That powers the charging station so that it can also power the car. And these are some of the things that we are doing to be able to mitigate the challenges of power problem in Ghana.
Solar Taxi is all about using clean, renewable energy to solve problems. Utilizing solar power is the perfect fit for Ghana because the country is said to receive 1,800 to 3,000 hours of sun annually. In addition, electric vehicles produce fewer carbon emissions than standard vehicles. The progress of Solar Taxi brings Ghana closer to its goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by 2030.
To solve the climate crisis, experts point to the need to make the vehicles on our roads as clean as possible. The Solar Taxi Initiative is a project that focuses on producing solar-powered electric vehicles for use across the country. Started in September 2018, it was launched by Kumasi Hive in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation. The initiative aims to alleviate poverty, create employment, and protect the environment. The Solar Taxi project hopes to expand the reach of electric cars and bikes to members of the community. Those without a vehicle can conveniently request a ride with a Solar Taxi app at an affordable price. Now, there's a way to commute responsibly and even cheaper. The future is most certainly electric. For GBC News, Shelley Bewa reporting.
Shalibo's report for GBC News, and it sets the tone nicely for our conversation on electric cars, so solar-powered vehicles. And in the studio with me is the CEO, from my immediate left, CEO Mr. George Apia, CEO of Solar Taxi. Welcome.
Thank you. And
right next to him, Belinda Akaba, electrical engineer. Wow, I'm always happy to have women on the table. Belinda, welcome. I'll just be biased because it's woman to woman now. You're an electrical engineer. How does that bring? How does that experience bring itself to bear on what's happening at Solar Taxi and all the women who are involved in those interesting activities there?
Okay, so one thing I'll say is that the ladies that are working as engineers at Solar Taxi, they are so determined and passionate about the job. So, looking at the other side, say, the ladies trying to bring something extraordinary on board. Okay. There are a lot of people that are not doing. As Solar Taxi is bringing something new on board that everybody is trying to rush, so somebody wants to learn. So I think it's something great that it's coming up with ladies or females doing it. And looking at the future, we are looking forward to see a lot of electric vehicles on board.
Electric vehicles, George, how did that whole concept come about? We're a country, we are barely struggling, keeping our head above water where our energy mix is concerned. And so how did you come up with that idea? Did you, by chance, learn from experiences elsewhere to think that, well, we have a lot of sunshine and we could put it to better use in our automobile industry?
I mean, definitely, as the video that you showed stated, electric vehicles have been around for some time now, right at the beginning of automobile industry. But for us, it was all about finding sustainable transportation here on our continent, especially in Ghana, where almost everything in this economy depends on transportation, right from healthcare delivery to the cost of food, logistics, to even education, has some form of element that depends on transportation. So having an affordable or sustainable transportation, an affordable rate was the goal that we're trying to solve in. So that's when it has to build our first prototype, to be building a vehicle powered by solar panels. And then from there, the results was quite good. So we had further support to scale it up.
So give us an idea of what the timelines are. How long have you been working on this project, and how long did it take for it all to come together to become what we are seeing now? Because there's an app now and everything. It means it's up and going.
Yeah, so we started working on it around 2018, and then late 2018 we had support and partnership from MasterCard Foundation to look at the business side of it. So we're able to then pilot it, the business side on 2019. So late 2019, we started as a commercial business, as a startup, where we then expanded our business from Kumasi to Accra and started delivering service to our clients. So I think from that is when 2009, that's when we have that full scale that we were looking at.
So women, almost an entire facility run expertly by women. Why did you make that choice?
Well, we asked that why not. I think the question why it even coming up is because it's unusual.
But I think it kind of shows the challenge of our system of how women are sidelined when it comes to such a field.
Because it's a male-dominated.
It's a male-dominated area, so it shouldn't have been the case. When we walk up to a workshop and we see only males, nobody asks why do you have only guys here. But when people walk around and they see maybe only ladies, they ask why ladies. It shows the perception is not right and something we need to do about it. But for us to fundamentally, they get the work done, as Belinda said, they get the work done. All right. So for us, we look at getting the work done first. One any other thing. Yes, we like to even the platform by investing into getting more women to be part of it. But the baseline, as a business, they get the work done. For the past 2 to 3 years, they have been getting the work done for us as we scale. So.
Wow, Belinda, does this come with any peculiar challenges? Do people look at you and think less because they see a female rather than perhaps what they would expect from a male engineer?
Well, I'll say first, the society make it look like ladies are not supposed to step into the male-dominated field. But now a lot of people are looking up to ladies to step into this field to make a change to it. So seeing myself working in the male-dominated field, I don't see any difference comparing myself to the guys, because what they are able to do, I'm also able to do that, and I even do more than I even expect of myself. So I don't see.
So specifically, what do you work on? Do you work on the assembling? Do you work on, so if someone has a faulty car, is that what you work on? What exactly do you do?
Okay, so I work with the assembling and maintenance team, and I also work on the cars too as well. We assemble the motorbikes from scratch. That's from the chassis to electricals to accessories and to the plastic parts. I work with all those teams and we put the bikes together. For the cars, we perform maintenance on it.
And all this started in Kumasi and it has moved to Accra.
Yes, please.
Would you say it has given you the same level of access to women, and when it comes to recruitment onto the team?
Yes.
Are women even interested? Do you see a lot more people coming up to be trained and to take part in this project?
Yes, so Solar Taxi, we are having a female engineering academy where we train a lot of ladies into this field. So a lot of people do come to the training. After that, we give them an internship period. When they are done with the internship, we retain most of them. And I would say I'm also a product of the Female Engineering Academy.
A Female Engineering Academy. So, George, you intend to just kick the men out of business? Is that your plan?
So we do have men also part of the team. But like I said, the field is uneven. And we need to find ways of onboarding more women onto the platform. If you look at the value chain of the automobile industry, we have less participation from women through the design, the production, and all that. It's extremely low. In fact, we are the only company in the world, automobile company in the world, that has about 50% of engineers being women, which is terrible if that is the case in the whole world. So this is something that we try to even the platform by giving the opportunity. But we do also have men that are part of our team.
Right, and I'm just interested that if the ultimate intervention is to alleviate poverty, then I dare to say that you're targeting the right gender. Do you feel
yes, we do, because it's key part of our SDGs to make sure that we are empowering we introduced electric vehicle as a novel transportation solution in Ghana. But the opportunity also here is that as we do that, we get a chance to change the narrative, to empower women, all right, and also help to fight poverty across board. But this is what we are bringing on. So we're not just bringing electric solution, we're also bringing about other solutions to what the difficulty we are facing in society.
In the report that my colleague Shalibewa did for GBC News, she talked about eco-friendly means of powering a vehicle. Today we focused on even eco-tourism. We are in Nzulezu today. The team is in the Western region. We'll bring you further details. And another aspects of our visit to Nzulezu, we'll be talking about that a bit later on. But how crucial is it for us to protect the environment, even as we talk about manufacturing and as we make gains into the industrial industry or the industry of automobile or assembling of cars and other machines?
Yeah, I mean, Africa is poised to develop. I think that's something that we can't take away. I think the opportunity for us is to develop without polluting, or we don't develop without destroying the environment. If you look at all the other continents that have developed, they develop mainly by polluting the environment. And if you look at the issue of climate change, we can feel the effect now. Just imagine about 20 years or 10 years from now, how severe this will be if we don't take bold actions towards some of this. So for us, it's now or never, basically, that if you look at transportation, like I said, it is all part of the economy. And if we're able to see transportation alone, we're able to cut down huge amounts of the carbon contribution that we do.
But what's wrong with, someone would ask, what's wrong with petrol, diesel and gas?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, but the pollution is what is the major cause in the air. And like I said, it's one of the major contribution factor when it comes to pollution of the environment. So we don't want to you don't want to get rich and you can't enjoy your riches because of bad health, right? Due to air pollution. So you have all this money and you are struggling to breathe. It doesn't give you anything. So yes, we are poised to develop, but we can do it sustainably, right? And that is where the electric transportation comes in. So this is an opportunity that we are going to do. And I must mention is that even Ghana as a nation, we are part of our Paris Agreement, the national determining contribution by Ghana is also to look at EV, electric vehicles. So for us, I think the government is looking at putting policies to supporting things like this. It shows the government commitment to promoting sustainable transportation. So we also see it is as a very key thing that we are doing.
Right, if you've just joined us, you're watching Breakfast on GTV, and on this side of the table we are talking about electric vehicles. We are talking about one company in particular that is making solar taxis, and they're called obviously Solar Taxi, a very obvious choice of a name. The CEO, George Appiah, is here, and one of the electrical engineers, Belinda Akaba. I don't need to say that she's an electrical engineer, and she's earned her seat at the table, and we are looking at the sustainability of the project. I want to have an idea of exactly how this solar car works, and maybe Belinda can explain it to me. How different is this from a regular car that you buy petrol or diesel or even gas to run?
Okay, so talking about the cars, I would say it's not really having any much different from the fuel car. It's just our cars, the car actually rely on the battery packs, whilst the other car, you have to buy fuel into it. Yeah, that's just...
And this battery pack is located where? So does it have an engine like a regular car?
No.
No, it doesn't have an engine.
Okay, explain some of
It runs on a battery pack. So the battery pack is under the car, is beneath the car.
So when you open the front, the bonnet, I think it's called, like,
yes.
Forgive somebody who doesn't pick up at. And when you open the bonnet, what do you find in there?
Okay, so when you open the bonnet, you see the auxiliary battery that is in the fuel cars as well. But aside that, we have other electrical components inside there.
Like the converters,
the DC to
DC converters. So basically, there's no engine. If I should put it this way, you find your wiper fluid to wipe your fluid. Yeah,
I know that one.
You know that one.
Mr.
Yeah.
Nas, thank you.
But there's no engine oil. There's nothing to change. Nothing. So in perspective, you are basically running without buying fuel. There's no engine. When the car moves right now, you don't hear any sound coming out. It doesn't do nothing like that. So
there's no sound.
There's no sound, basically. So maintenance is extremely low because you don't have a lot of moving parts. It makes it a bit easier. So you can drive the car for almost a year without doing any maintenance on it, right? And we talk about fuel, the fuel cost saving. You'll be saving close to about 90% if you make the switch to electric.
But then we've also heard that the initial cost of solar, the initial cost could prove to be substantive.
That's
by how
true.
much?
That is true, technically speaking, but I think the price parity is almost close now. I mean, the price is almost close now. So, for instance, we do sell a brand new vehicle for about 50,000 cedis, SUV.
That's a solar taxi?
Yes.
So a solar car, not necessarily a taxi?
Yeah. So about 150,000 cedis, a brand new SUV. And if you're buying a brand new SUV, we are likely to get it among the same range. Sometimes even a second hand even costs close to about 150,000. So if you're buying this and you're not buying fuel, you save close about your 90% on your fuel cost. Because if you're buying a normal transportation here in Accra can cost you about 2,000 to 3,000 a month, depending on how you commute. So if you are saving 90% on that, that means that you'll be spending only 200 cedis, 300 cedis a month.
So you're assembling these cars in locally?
Yes.
Where are you sourcing the parts to assemble
so
here?
Currently we do the designs and everything, and because we don't have some of the machines that we need to get a part from China. So we send our designs over, and then they supply the part, and then the engineers build them.
But why not partner with, for example, we know a local manufacturing car company to get to the point where you get some of these things, source them locally?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so currently, what we are going to, we have a very long-term plan. So what we are going to do, we're going to localize a lot of the supply chains here in Ghana. So for instance, let me put it in perspective. For instance, we started producing our own battery packs here. So when you go to Kumasi, we produce our own battery packs. And we are the only company in the sub-region that is doing anything of that sort, building our own battery packs. And we are going to increase that aspect. So we take part and start production here in Ghana so that we get the value aspect of it. So we have a very long-term perspective for that, of how we are going to localize, and it helps create a lot of employment, right? Because on full scale, we are looking at creating employment in the thousands, and this is great. I mean, we know the issue of unemployment in the country, but we do have our plans to localize almost every part of the supply chain.
Right. Solar taxis in the house. You can join this conversation on our WhatsApp platform 05555-61034, 05555-61034, and 150,000 Ghana cedis for an SUV. Is that an amount you're willing to offer for a solar car? And so that's the conversation you might want to join on the WhatsApp and across our social media handles. CEO, I just want to find out, how many cars have you sold so far, roughly?
So we started outright sales about 2 months ago. We have sold close to about 5 cars since then. Before that, what we used to do is we used to give it more out on rental. So because we didn't have so many in stock, so we wanted no more people to have access to it. So we started with the rental, and I think that one overwhelmed us, because we currently have a standing on that close to about 400 orders that we are yet to fulfill. It tells about the demand that we already have. I think for a majority of our clients, it had to do with the economics. There's so much money driving the electric cars. Yeah.
So you've rented out a number of cars already.
Yeah.
Does that keep you busy, Belinda, for maintaining all these cars on the road?
I would say yes, and I would say no, because for the EV cars, maintenance is very low, because people do rent their cars for close to 6 months and they don't come in for maintenance. So what we actually do is, we also have electric motorbikes. So our focus is actually on the electric motorbikes, because they come in with faults probably once a while. And we also have charging stations that we attend to. So with that, it keeps us busy.
The charging stations, it's a fascinating concept. Is it like your mobile phone where there's a socket that you put something in and then you charge?
Yes.
But if it's solar, why do we need to charge it? Shouldn't the sun, the thing will be there, then the sun will be on it, and it will be charging? Or
let me help that. So you have the option. When you are purchasing the vehicle, you have what you can purchase. Some of the vehicles have the panels integrated, but because of beauty sake, some people don't want the panels to be integrated. Some want it off the panel. So we have what we call the solar hub, as the video mentioned. So we install a solar hub for you. So you purchase the car, you purchase a solar hub. But most of our clients,
that's where you charge.
We charge from. But most of our clients...
Is that mobile? Can you take it along with you to different locations?
No. You give us a location you charge with. Because the thing here is that when you charge the car, it doesn't drain out like a day. All right? So for instance, when the one I'm using, I can use for 2 weeks without charging.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So you don't need to charge it constantly.
How can people reach you? This one says, I'm enjoying from Sunyani. My name is Jay. Please, what are the qualifications for recruitment?
Is he a lady or a guy?
Jay, I presume it's a gentleman. Okay. But we need to wrap very quickly because we are in Nzulezi. Hey, Nzulezi. So a very quick one. How can people get on board?
Okay,
you mentioned an academy.
Yeah, so for now, our focus is on the female engineering academy. So for the guys, you are now thinking of bringing them on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ajay, you have to wait to tell. It's a woman to world now. We run the world, girls. George, your final comment while we run up.
Well, I think
going electric is inevitable. We need to save our environment, leave a better place for our children as we came to meet it. So it's just a matter of time that we will switch to electric.
How can people reach you?
So you can reach us through our social media platforms. So just go to Solar Taxi, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just send us a DM. We'll respond.
Belinda, final word to the ladies.
My final word to the ladies is that they should be focused on whatever they want to do. They should be passionate about it and determined.
Thank you. So it's the men who are sending the message. So we don't want to ask. I want to know if you can have your own vehicle. You can. So George Apea, CEO Solar Taxi, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you too.
Belinda Akaba, electrical engineer. Like when I see women rising, my coffee just hits another level. Thank you for appearing on the show. Solar Taxi, we wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll get some of your cars to,
yeah, you should.
Public, private,
yeah, you should. All right.
Thank you. We've talked about solar-powered cars, and even as we think eco-tourism and being friendly to the environment, we are also in Nzulezu, and Kaf and the team will be telling us all the history of the town and what you need to know about Ghana's Venus in the Western region. Kaf?
We're going now.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Thelma. You are watching us right here on the premises of the Homestay Guest House, 6 rooms, right here on the lake here at Nzulezu. I have with me Nana Takrika the 7th, the chief of Nzulezu, but I will start my conversation with
George,
Ezra
Nyamike,
who is a support staff with the Nzulezu Stilt Village Tourism Project. And we're going to be talking about the history of Nzulezu. So, Ezra, good to have you here. Tell us about the history of this town. How come we have people living here now?
Thank you very much. First of all, my name is Ezra Nyamike, a support staff in this community, and I represent my chief, Nana Takrika the 7th. And mostly when people come, they think it's because of fishing, that is why we are here. But it started 14th to 15th century. Our forefathers, they were then living in Mali, peacefully on a land called Timbuktu. They were doing mining on Timbuktu land. So there was a time the Senegalese, which is the Mendes, they came to trade with our forefathers in Mali. But looking at the idea that they came with, wasn't good enough to convince our forefathers. So our forefathers rejected their offer and they left. But out of jealousy, on their way back, they waged war against our forefathers in Mali. During the war, they were killing our forefathers because our forefathers were not strong enough to fight against the Senegalese. 14th to 15th century at that time, they do believe a lot in the spiritual gods. So anything they do, our forefathers, they have to consult the oracle. So our forefathers, truly, they consulted the oracle. And after consulting the oracle told them to vacate from the land since the Senegalese were killing them. Our forefathers, they have no choice but to accept the offer, which they accepted, set up their journey on a midnight, and they see through Burkina Faso. But after Burkina Faso, our forefathers, they came to Ghana. When our forefathers came to Ghana, their first place was they stayed there for some time, and later on set up their journey to Techiman. But on their way, they were 43 chiefs, including the paramount chief, and also the chief priest as well. So in terms of spiritual communication, it's the duty of the chief priest who first communicates before the king and his people. And also because of the one when they were coming, a lot of people were injured. At that time, there was nothing like a road that maybe car or motorbike can pass on. So our forefathers, they took their lead in the forest. Like I said earlier on, the name of the king among them at that period was King Tekrika. He was the powerful chief among them. So anything after the chief priest, he has to come to the King Tekrika before the rest of the group. So from Techiman, our forefathers, they went to Esipon in the western region in Sekendi Takoradi. But before Esipon, they passed through Makasim before they got to Esipon. For Esipon in Sekendi Takoradi, our forefathers, they stayed for quite a long time. And later on decided to continue their journey because there was no longer peace. But this time around, our forefathers, they took their lead around the coast. and they got to a place in the Zema area called Bakanta. When our forefathers got to Bakanta, they found out that there was a river in the middle of the land flowing to the sea. So immediately our forefathers, they decided to go to the forest, cut some big trees to make a raft. They made a lot of raft. If let's say, if you and your family, then you're on one raft. They did this small, all of a sudden our forefathers, they appear on this Amanzule River. And when they came to this area, their first place was at the end of the river. On your way coming, if you saw Rafia by the far end, that was the first place, the first settle. But because they were then living on land, when they came to this area, they adopted a new method of laying their platform like this. At first, they were using the Rafia stakes before the leaves. But because of the direction of the wind, whenever they set fire before they realized all their houses were being burnt. So for 5 days, they decided to move away from that area to this place. That was how they came, and that was how they originated from Mali to Nzulazu here. The name of the king among them, like I said, the powerful chief among them was King Tekrika, and the spokesperson was Muga. And the language that our forefathers brought during 14th, 15th century was Ewetile language. But when our forefathers came, because throughout their journey they lost a lot of women, they went to the land to marry some of the Nzema women. But when the Nzema women came, they couldn't speak the language. So our forefathers, they decided to learn the Nzema language to the language of Ewetile, vanished from this community. So now we speak Nzema and also part of Jomoro constituency. So that was how Nzulazu came about. And when they came, this place was named after the king, which is Tekrika village. But after the Nzema language, they decided to change it to Nzulazu, on water.
Thank you so much for this very rich history. I have a bigger appreciation now of who you are and why you came to settle here. Now you are going to act as a spokesperson for Nana Tekrika the 7th, and he's going to speak the Nzema language. We want to find out what kind of challenges the community is experiencing and what kind of support that the people of Nzulazu would want when you hear from Nana's mouth. So Nana will speak in Nzema and then you translate his response for me. So please tell him exactly what I wanted to speak about.
Nana, I come over here see challenges more Nzulazu and yellow family about to be now come with
but from Nana Tekrika the 7th. Come on, when ma a dealer, you do the Yamuzo. Biza Tivrama Ahe, me have a mo GTV ma, me have a mo care and Ben Mira na Bedi Nzulazu history. The Biamusha was Suazu Totoshiara. Imala Kanane. Imareke yede funde ekodigwa yeba ya dan mo ye fanu ara imareka nane na aya ne ye adan memeri na ke ye ma ye kanane se onimuri a ke ne ye vinde ye kodigwa ne ye ni nya ne ye ba ye dilinu a ane ye lene ne anwi o ma ye fe muti ye sra ara ne ke odwonyi orin aye kanane na oye eboe o ma ye ke ye dan ko ye fele ne ye fanu a and you na yini nyane mo ye ko egwa yikodi bara ya nzekela ye sara am ke onia no yo maye.
Thank you. Okay, what Nana Tekrika the 7th is trying to say is that we live in this community. Sometimes you hear government constructing road for the people on the land. Our major occupation here is farming. And we do it commercially. So whenever we get something like foodstuffs in our farm, we have to take it to Benin. But our canal is a major problem in this community. So he appeals to the government to get the excavator to dredge the canal so that it will make the transport easier. And also, he'd like to thank the GTV support staff for your great job. I mean, it's honored for me having Nana Tekrika, the 7th in this community. Thank you very much for the support. And what he needs government to do is to dredge the canal to make everything easier. As you can see, this place is tourist attraction. And those who use the motorized boat, for instance, they do something like how do you call it, transport, a business, a transport, they bring visitors in and out, day in and day out. So, and also especially our ladies who take the cassava stuff to those people on the land. So he wanted them to, get excavator to dredge the canal to make everything smooth in this community and also easier.
I know they are watching and they will be listening and taking notes. And now, as we are going to celebrate the birthday of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who is a citizen of this of Ghana and of this region, what is the message that Nana would want to give to Ghanaians as we have to celebrate Osajifo's birthday tomorrow?
Kwame Nkrumah Eshimale awore kan to shi apare Nkrumah semani na eni Kwame Nkrumah debi mo yere wo Ghana la no hare meni era unzi eho no kwa ke biale totori ni nyane mo yela imuti Eshima mo re Kwame Nkrumah awore kan la nyamane eva Kwame Nkrumah ekara eziye boy ovo ma yede enzama na oyiwe mo odan ko ba vinde ke Kwame Nkrumah wo enzama monu ovo ma ye ya ma ye vizie Kwame Nkrumah ejaken na akai party ni modere mo refle CPP da me enzama mo ke ba mi mu akoso team ya support za han party ni na ye nya wonu a mo isuman ba ye ke Kwame Nkrumah ama se ye ka che Kwame Nkrumah and what I know very soon ye ekala labua zahan snan yama Ghana ne aho nyunu moti ehima nyamboa na be di Kwame Nkrumah e birthday ni a na sala wi bi ara ke obomo ho na ba mi mu ayeboa yama birthday ni eyede di ekrama na ma do wase.
So what Nana Tekrika is saying is that tomorrow is Kwame Nkrumah birthday in Ghana, and Kwame Nkrumah was an Nzema. And when he became the president, he did a lot in Ghana. And so in that way, he would like to recommend this to everyone in Ghana to participate in his birthday, because upon all the parties or the presidents who have come and gone, upon all those presidents, only Kwame Nkrumah was the successful one in Ghana. In another way, he would like to urge all Ghanaians to help any CPP candidate who will come as a party candidate to go to presidential or parliament, anything at all, and especially in Nzema, because Kwame Nkrumah was in Nzema. He was the founder of CPP in Nzema, so we urge every Nzema people to focus on any CPP candidate who will come, so that in at the end we will have a better person similar Kwame Nkrumah, which will look like Kwame Nkrumah to develop this community.
Please tell me, and I want to say thank you very much to him for the time that he gave us.
Okay. Let's not forget, we have this banner at stake at this community.
That's what it is. Yes,
it's also community clinics. Aside from what Nana Tekrika said earlier on, we have sanitation issue in this community. So we have formed an association called the NCC, Nzulazo Community Cleaners. Nzulazo Community Cleaners. And our main source of water is the Samanzule River, and we don't want it to get polluted.
Indeed.
So we are working on it. Now we have seek for a land not far from this place called Ongumazo, about 1.5 kilometers to the land. That is our dumping site now. So to use this opportunity to express our view towards this association, we urge every Ghanaian to support, because whenever the dustbin is full, we have to wait for available canoe to take the dustbin to the dumping site to dump the rubbish. So everyone who have maybe a support to support, whether volunteer booth, helmet, hand gloves, everything at all to support, they can also support. And our details is on this banner.
Okay, and so that's that. For there are numbers that you can call. We can read out the numbers for those who are interested.
For the number aspect, 020-56-12641 or 055-76-12935.
Thank you very much. Ezra Nyamike is a support staff with the Nzulezo Stilt Village tourism project, and seated to his left is Nana Takrika the 7th, who is the chief of Nzulezo. Madam Was. Thank you so much. And that's our adventure right here in Nzulezo in the Tomorrow district of the Western region. It's been a fantastic experience talking about the life on the water. Does Nana have something extra he wants to say? We're in time added on, so extra time. Nana, but we are done, but I'm sure anything else we'll record and have you. So thank you so much, Nana. Thank you as well. And back to you in the Greater Accra region.
And what an experience you had, Kaf, with that adventure from Nzulezo. And we are still keeping our focus on the Western region because tomorrow we are remembering a great man of the land. It would have been the Osagyefo's birthday. And on his memorial, we will be bringing you a lot of history. So it will be quite a historical day on breakfast tomorrow. So Tuesday's breakfast bound to be very, very different. We'll have some historians passing through. We'll tell you a bit more about the life of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the life he lived. Some of the cultures from the Western region will be on display on this breakfast table. So it's not a show you would want to miss at all. And like I said, we'll be honoring the man, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This has been breakfast on GTV, and tomorrow we'll be here to do it all over again. It's a holiday, so we hope you'll have a relaxing day with us to help you start your day off right, in the right way. We'll honor the Osagyefo tomorrow on his birthday, 21st September. You don't want to miss. My name is Thelma Taki. I'll be coming to you from Accra. Kafui Day has been in the Western region with the team, and we are honored that you stayed with us through this session. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Until then, keep us updated on how you intend to honor the memory of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How do you intend to remember him? How do you intend to mark the day? There's so many activities that are going on across the country, and we'll hope to hear from you across our social media platforms on how you intend to mark the holiday. My name is Thelma Taki. Have a good morning, and we'll see you tomorrow.